So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the session of our Microsoft Excel, the day 4. And yes, today is the last day of our entire 16 hours journey. And I believe everybody settled down and good to go. My audio is reaching. Yeah. Thank you so much. All right. So as we discussed today, we are going to discuss with our most important formulas and functions. We'll start with the file name called corporate case studies. Kindly open that. So to remind you, we have done up to our data visualization sheet in that. Okay. And now please go to our sheet name called Lookup. So we are going to discuss the most powerful formula naming called Vlookup and Hlookup. But before proceeding further, is there anybody who doesn't know what is Vlookup? Please drop me a message in the chat box. Don't know. The reason of asking this question, if you do not know, I'll start from the scratch. If you know, we can skip the topic. There's no point spending time which you know already. Okay.
I don't know, Baba.
Okay, fine, Surba. Thanks. Is there anyone else who doesn't know what is VLOOKUP?
Maybe better you can give a overview, sir.
Yep, I will do that.
We have more explanation than what we know.
Yes, that is always there. Thanks, Ram. Well, fine then. So let me just start with our VLOOKUP formula, people. Though you might be working with VLOOKUP, there are certain things as a user you must know, which you might not be aware of that. So please stay focused. And if at all any question is running in your mind, you will be getting the time to ask your questions. Don't worry. Okay. So Suruba, since you do not know, please stay focused. Basically, VLOOKUP is nothing but called vertical lookup. V stands for vertical. And this formula is being used to search your data in a huge data set. Like, take an example. I have an employee ID. I don't have any of the details of employee, neither the employee name, date of joining, date of birth, or what is his email ID, phone numbers. If I do not know, where I will be searching in my employee master data. So how do you search exactly? We just do one thing. We copy that employee ID. We go to the master data and we press Control F and press this employee ID, what we copied, and paste Control V. And once the line item is matched, we copy that entire line item and we update our record. So this is what the practice we have developed, and there's nothing wrong. If you have only one or two case or variables you want to find out, you can do that. But suppose say you have got huge data items. Suppose say you have got 1000 employee codes with you and you need to find out the details in 1 lakh line item of records. So it is something like finding a drop in the ocean, and it will be taking a lot of time for us. And we cannot do 1000 times of Control F, it will kill our whole day. So this is the place where we have to engage our formula called VLOOKUP. It will be more clear when we go for a real-time data. Just take a look. Suppose say I want to purchase a new laptop. I have seen a lot of brands around, my people, my friends, my colleagues, they are using. So I have made a list, whichever the brands I am aware of, in a Excel file or Excel sheet. And what I did, I saved that file. I went to a shopkeeper or a shop and I asked him, sir, whatever the laptop brands you are dealing with, can you provide me a catalog? So he said, I don't have a catalog, but yes, I can give you the configuration and the rates, whatever I'm offering, I can give you the details. So he gave a brand with rates complete list in a piece of paper. Now this you treat as your vendor's catalog. Now taking that vendor's catalog, when we come back to our workplace, we open that Excel sheet, and our job is now, whatever the brands we have maintained, corresponding to that, we need to maintain the rates as well. So we need to populate the rates over here by looking at the catalog provided by the vendor. Now forget about Excel. If you happen to do the same job manually, how will you start with? First, what we'll do, we'll go to our list. What is the first brand? Acer. We'll pick that. Then what we will do, we'll go to the vendors list. Is it Acer over here? Yes. How much is the price? 22,000. Then we come back to our list. We'll populate our list over here by 22,000. This is how you will be doing the job if you do it manually. Shurupa, do you agree?
Yes, if
Right.
you do manually, then
That is what we are discussing manual. Forget about Excel. We are not yet discussing anything about Excel. So this is
okay.
what the manual job. So hope the entire procedure is clear.
Yes, yes.
Right. Now, once we found out the Acer details, what is the next one? Apple. Again, we'll take that and we'll try to have a look at the vendor's catalog. Whether Apple is there? Yes. How much is the price? 45,000. Then we'll come back to our list. Again, we'll update this as 45,000. So this is how you will be doing the job. One by one value you will check over here in the vendor's catalog. If that brand is appearing, the corresponding rate column, you will be getting the values and populate your own list. So this is how you will be doing the job for 10 different times, right? Right, Surba? Is it clear?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, instead of doing it for 10 different times or 10 different cells, here, since we have got a beautiful tool called Excel, and if you want to take the help of Excel, Excel will be using the formula called Vlookup. So whatever the job we did it manually, the same thing Vlookup is going to do in Excel. So hope you got a overall idea what Vlookup does. How to write?
Yes.
How to write? I'll tell you. Don't worry about it. But the entire action, what Vlookup does, is it clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Very good. Now let's start working with me together. Let's start working together. So select your entire array. As we have developed the practice since our day one, first we'll be selecting our entire solution area. We'll go for immediately equal to, and we'll start with our formula VLOOKUP. Now, what is the first input VLOOKUP is demanding? Can you see on your screen? Is it asking for lookup value? Do you see? Right, Surupa?
Yes, Prabhu.
Right. So please respond because I am explaining for you only since you are not aware of VLOOKUP. The rest of people are only the spectators because they are already working. They know about this. They know the basics. So please respond when I ask a question so that it will be giving more clarity for me that we all are in equal page. Anyway, so lookup value. What is the meaning by lookup value? If you remember the moment you started working or doing the job manually, where did you start with? First, we had a look at our own list. What is the first brand we picked up? Acer, correct?
Yes.
The same thing is nothing but my lookup value. So what is the meaning by lookup value? What you have with you to search. So we have Acer to search. That's why Acer becomes my lookup value. So what is lookup value? Is it clear?
Yeah.
Right. Any point of time, anything is not clear, feel free to ask me then and there. Now coming to table array. What is the meaning by table array? Where to search? So if you remember, we have taken the first brand from our list. Where did you check that? In the vendor's catalog?
Yeah.
So this is nothing but your table array. So what is table array? Now is it clear?
Yeah.
Right. Comma. What's the next one? Column index number. So here we need to discuss. While doing the job manually, we never discuss anything about column index number, right? Then why VLOOKUP is asking column index number? Valid question, keep it on hold. Just get one step back. When you get one step back, that is table array. Can you see VLOOKUP is doing one job over here? The entire font color of that range, it is trying to convert into maroon. It's in maroon color. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And the same color, it is applying as a border to the vendor's catalog. Can you see over here also? So why it is doing like this? It is giving a simple message that you need to focus in this border area only. So in this border area, how many columns we have?
2 columns.
2 columns. How do you read your data in Excel? Left to right or right to left?
Right. Left.
Right to left, how? First, do you read first red column? First you read the brand column, right?
Yeah.
That is called left to right flow of data. Okay. So we always start reading the data from the left and we are moving to the right. So in this border area, what is your leftmost column?
Brand.
Brand. That is your column number 1. What is the immediate right column you have?
Rate.
That is column number 2. This is how you should make a count. Now, in this border area, we have understood there are 2 columns. Column number 1 is brand, column number 2 is rate. Out of these 2 columns, which column data is already there with us?
G.
You should not read by that. You should not read by the column headers or row headers. I told you, out of these 2 columns, 1 and 2, which column data is already there with us? We have got column 1 with us. Do you agree? This is what the brand with us already there, right? So brand is already there with us. What we are looking for?
Rate.
Rate. Rate is in which column in the border area?
Right side, no? Rate column.
No, I told you, how to count the column. In the border area, in the border area, 2 columns are there. Brand is the first column, rate is the second column. Brand is already there with us. We are looking for rate. Rate is in the second column of the border area. So we should read it by column index number 2. So how to count your column index number? Did you get a clarity?
Yes.
Right. Now come on. It is asking for range lookup, true, false, approximate match, exact match, quite a lot. Completely confusing. And the moment we discuss the same while doing the job manually, we never discuss like this anything called range lookup, true, false. Then why VLOOKUP is asking something like this and making our job more complex? So what I suggest is ignore everything. Forget that VLOOKUP is asking something like this. Always remember one thing, that VLOOKUP always ends up with 0. Forget about this section range lookup, but ensure that VLOOKUP always ends up with 0. So now the question is, what is the meaning, what is the significance of typing 0? 0 is nothing but it makes as one-to-one match or exact match. So what is the meaning by one-to-one match or exact match? I'll tell you. So when you go for 0, about over here, what is that meaning? I told you exact match or one-to-one match. So what exactly it has to match? The lookup value. What is our lookup value? Acer. What is the spelling? ACER. So when you look at our vendor's catalog, is it containing the same Acer with ACER? Yes, then only corresponding column number 2 data will be picked up. So this is called our one-to-one match or exact match. And for that, we are putting 0. So here, if R is missing or here, if E is missing, then it will not be having one-to-one match and it will not get the value or rate of that particular brand. So what is 0? Hope it is clear.
Yes.
Right. Now, having said this, formula is ready only with one cell. As we know, we need to apply for the rest. What is the shortcut?
Control enter.
Control enter. So when you go for it, you can notice we got the values, but certain cases we did not receive the rates. Where, like Dell, Samsung, Toshiba, is it not there in the vendor's catalog? All are there. Then why such kind of discrimination only with these 3 brands? Let's go and check. If I go to Dell and open the formula, can you see the problem? When I copy the formula down, this vendors array, the catalog array, the table array, this is also moving down. And this is what we have already witnessed in day 1 and day 2 as well. Day 1 in our data presentation sheet and our vendor evaluation, small and large computation we have done. Then where else we have gone for? Date the formula. If you remember, when we copy the formula down, our YM, MD cell should not move down. That's why we logged them. So all these things we have seen. And now what we need to do over here, the moment we go for application of the formula, exactly, Vanisha. So we need to go for the range, which is creating a trouble. Which is creating a trouble? C3 to D13. This range should not move down or move right. For that, what we need to do, Surupa? How to apply the dollar symbol?
F4.
Very good. So the moment we go for F4 once, no movement will be there. Neither C3 will go to C4, not C3 to D3. Similarly, D13 will never go to D14 or D13 will never go to E13. And this is how the formula is rectified only with one cell, but we need to apply for rest. Control, enter. And this is how the moment you want to search your records over there, you can make use of your formula called Vlookup. So give it a try and check, is it working?
Yes.
Any difficulties in understanding?
No, that's true.
Great. So this is how, when you want to apply Vlookup formula between two different Excel sheets, two different Excel files, you can apply. There is no restrictions over here. Okay. So now I consider that all are having a better understanding about our Vlookup. Can I take like that? Okay. So when you're saying yes, how about others? Do you agree with me? Okay.
We would always do Vlookup, but you've explained it very well. Thank
Fine.
you.
Thank you so much. All right. So I consider that everyone is yes. Yes. Any questions from anybody? All right. Fine then. So now let us go for understanding over here our Hlookup.
So but just one small query.
Please ask.
See, you have put 0 na, to match the case.
Right.
Like suppose if I don't put 0, suppose I put 1 there.
Okay.
Okay. And I have got Acer spelled differently in this particular sheet.
Uh-huh.
Can you explain the case where, where we put 1 and this
It will come. It will come. It will come. It will come. Don't worry. We'll go step by step. So right now we are discussing about only exact match. So where to use one? Just 5 minutes. Give me some time. I'll explain you that. Don't worry. Now, coming to the next Hlookup over here. So Hlookup stands for horizontal lookup. Like Vlookup stands for vertical lookup, Hlookup stands for horizontal lookup. Because when you have the data in horizontal format, you can't apply Vlookup. So in that case, we need to go for Hlookup. Rest of logics are same. Only in place of V, we have to go for H. Only in place of column index number, we need to go for row index number. Rest of logics are same. So let me take you through the data what we have with us. We have got 2 row items. You could see, you can treat this as your vendor's catalog, the same data. Now it is in horizontal format. This is your vendor's catalog. You can treat this. Now below to that, you can notice that we have got a list of brands over here. And this is our data. And what I need to do is basically, I need to populate the rates of the corresponding brands over here by having a look or check on the vendor's catalog. Now, if this is the scenario, how to deal with. So as we discussed, let's start selecting the entire solution array. Please start working with me. Then go for equal to. We'll start with our formula Hlookup. Okay. Now, when I go for Hlookup, what it demands, you can see all the same on your screen also. Lookup value. As we discussed, what is the meaning by lookup value? I told you.
Yeah.
What is that?
Brand and width, 2 rows.
No, that is different story. That will come later. I told you lookup value, what we have with us to search. So we have got Acer brand to search. So this is how you should start with. So lookup value is nothing but my first brand called Acer, right? Comma. Now it is asking table array. I told you what is the meaning by table array, where to search. So search point is in my vendor's catalog, starting from brand, you can end up with last red, or you can start from Samsung also. You can select like this. Choice is yours. There is no hard and fast rule. So I'm taking along with the headers. Okay. Now, when I take this C16 to M17, the range, when I copy this formula towards right, this range will start moving right. Do you agree? This range will start moving right. So to restrict that movement, what we're supposed to do? We go for F4. So that's what we discussed in Vlookup case also. Range was moving down. Later we logged it. So when we know this kind of problem is going to come, why don't you rectify the formula in the designing mode itself? So that's what we did. by hitting F4. Now, once I did this over here, comma, what's the next thing it is asking? Row index number. Vlookup, what it was asking? Column index number, since the data was there in table format, in column format. So now row index number, how to read it? Again, I told you, get back one step over here and see that table array. In table array, how many rows we have? In this table array, how many rows we have? So how do you read your data? Top to bottom or bottom to top?
Top to bottom.
Top to bottom. So in this border area, what is the first row we have? Brand. What is the second row? Rate. Out of these two row items, which is already there with us? Brand. What we are looking for? Rate. Rate is in which row item? Row number 2. So this is how we should take a call of row index number. Hope row index number is clear.
Yes.
Now, come on. As we know, Vlookup was asking true, false, approximate match, exact match, lot of things. I told you a simple rule. Always remember Vlookup or Hlookup. It should end up with 0. And 0 stands for exact match or one-to-one match. So here Acer is there, ACER. Wherever Acer is there, that value only will be pulled up. Okay. So fine. We have completed with our formula. Now the formula is ready only with one cell. But we need to apply for rest. Control Enter. The moment we go for Control Enter, with immediate effect, you will be finding our things will be ready. So this is how people, whenever there is a need, if you happen to go and work with your Hlookup formula, horizontal lookup, how to work around, we got a basic understanding. So give a try and check, is it working? Any doubt, any queries or any confusion? Please feel free to ask, make it clear.
Done.
Yeah. So when the data has to be searched vertically, go for Vlookup. When the data you need to search horizontally, if your tabular is that, then you have to go for Hlookup. So now, what is Vlookup? What is Hlookup? We are clear with that. Now, regarding the application, you can apply Vlookup between two different Excel sheets, two different Excel files, or in the same worksheet itself, top to bottom, left to right, you can do work well. But there are certain rules you need to follow and remember all the time the moment when you want to go for application of our Vlookup or Hlookup. Very, very essential rules. Stay focused. Now, what is the rule says? Let me take you through that. No need to do anything. Just look at my screen. I'll be copying and pasting once it is completed. So first try to understand the rules. It is very, very essential, as I told you, whenever you work around with your Vlookup or Hlookup. Okay. So now, rule number 1, Vlookup says the data has to be in vertical format. Then only I will be able to helping you out. So which data has to be in vertical format? This is what very, very essential you should know. So if you look at, in our case, we have got two setup of data. One is the master data or the vendor's catalog. One is our data, right? So vendor's data, the master data, the catalog should be in vertical format. Then only we can apply Vlookup. This is what we are discussing. Now, similarly, Hlookup also says that the first rule, data has to be in horizontal format, then only I can help you out. So which data has to be horizontal format? Again, the master data. If you look at the vendor's catalog, this data has to be in horizontal format. Then only you can apply Hlookup. Okay. So rule number 1, is it clear? Can I take that? Why for yes, quickly confirm. All right. Thank you so much for your response. Now, rule number 2, please stay focused again. Rule number 2 says, when you go for Vlookup, there should not be any duplicate data. No duplicate should be there. Where? In our vendor's catalog in VC. So in short, I'm typing VC. VC is nothing but vendor's catalog. For the time being, you treat vendor's catalog. Okay. So in vendor's catalog, if you look at, this is my vendor's catalog. Now, where there should not be any duplicate in the brand column. So brand column, none of the brands should have the duplicate. So Acer should not be there for more than one time, or Samsung should not be for more than one time. If it is there, then VLOOKUP will always pick the first value. Now just see, I'm showing it. Acer, how much it has taken? 22,000, because we have only one time Acer over here. Now, if I go and change Samsung to Acer also, just see, Samsung to Acer. Now this Acer is going to change to 25,000. Just see, is it changing? Right? Because Acer, there is more than one time, and VLOOKUP always pick the first value. So this is the reason why our VLOOKUP second rule, it says that there should not be any duplicate in the master data. That is the brand column, the common key. Rate may be duplicate, no problem. In our list, brand may be duplicate, no problem. But master data or vendor's catalog brand column should not contain duplicate. If duplicate is there, VLOOKUP will always pick the first value. So this is called our second rule for VLOOKUP, and the same rule goes for our Hlookup also. There should not be any duplicate in the master data or vendor's catalog. So in this vendor's catalog, this brand column should not contain any kind of duplicates. So what is rule number 2? It is clear. There should not be any duplicate. Any questions from anybody? All right. Now, rule number 3, it says that VLOOKUP data flow has to be always left to right. Data flow has to be always left to right. What does it mean exactly? Just have a look. The moment we look at our VLOOKUP formula, when we asked our vendor to give a catalog, suppose the vendor has given the catalog like this. VLOOKUP cannot read our data from right to left. That's why we are not getting the answer even, right? So this is called the data flow has to be left to right, but it's not necessary. It's not mandatory that rate column has to be immediate right to the brand column. It can be like this also, no worries. But when you are searching your data records, you should start searching the table array selection from brand. You should start with that. Even though there are some more columns before brand, you no need to select. And then you should proceed selecting. And when you find the rate column, you should stop there. Even though there are so many columns after rate column, you no need to select. So this is how you should select your table array. And this is what nothing but our called left to right flow of data must be there when you go for our VLOOKUP. All right. Now, similarly, if you go for Hlookup, it says that the data flow has to be always top to bottom. Top to bottom, then only it can help us. So what is the meaning by top to bottom flow of data? Now suppose say this is our vendor's catalog. Now the vendor has done some mistake and he has given the catalog like this. Hlookup cannot read your data from bottom to top, and that's why you will be getting this kind of message. So this is the reason why you need to always ensure that when you go for VLOOKUP or Hlookup, rule number 3 also needs to be satisfied. So this is how the 3 rules always keep in your mind, and any point of time you believe your VLOOKUP or Hlookup is not working for you, probably one of the rules is not satisfied. All right. So all these 3 rules, is it clear? Any confusion or any questions running in your mind? All right. Shurupa, clear the rules? Great.
Yes, Professor.
Okay, fine. Sriram, any questions from your side?
So that's
Okay. Vishwakaram?
clear, Professor.
Okay. Vijay?
Clear.
Okay. Deepak? Shreya, any questions from your side? All right. So having said this, people, now let's go for our one level up. we are going to discuss. So the next sheet is called our VL Epochs, the sheet name. And we are going to discuss something which is really a mystery for quite a long time, though we have been working with VLOOKUP for quite long, and always blindly we are putting zero. And this is how we have been taught with, or somebody has explained us, or this is how we have got from our experience. So now we are going to explore something which is really a beautiful function of our VLOOKUP called VLOOKUP with approximate match. But here the logical meaning or some difference is there. When you go for a dictionary word like approximate match, what we believe, we think that if I'm working with Excel, like say, take an example, I have got a text called Excel over here, and I have got some value. Okay, say now this value, if I'm searching with EX word, I should get that. So EX is, since it is there over here, we believe we should get 2, 3, 4, 5. Technically, that is not true in Excel language. In Excel language, what it says that approximate match is something when you do not have one-to-one match. If your data is falling in a range, that's called approximate match. So which type of data can fall in a range? When you go for range, we have got range like no, type of data I'm talking in Excel language, type of data we discussed in day one. We have got numbers, we have got date, we have got text, we have got alphabets. So out of this, which type of data can fall in a range? What is the meaning by range? Like 0 to 10, 11 to 20, what are they?
Numerics.
That is what numbers. So our approximate match is applicable only for the numerical value or the numbers. So that one thing you keep in your mind when you are going to deal with your VLOOKUP with approximate match. Okay, is it clear theoretically? Right. Now, having said this, let's go for one example. It will be more clear for you. And then how to solve that problem, we are going to also see that. See, we have got some employees data over here, name of the employees there, and we have conducted one assessment and we have got the respective ratings for those people. Now, what is the job we have? The management has given me a task. Prabhas, please define the grading of those people. And grading purpose, my management has already got a circular. He has sent a circular to me stating that suppose Prabhas, anybody scores or rate is having 0 to 3 rating, you should give the grading as E. If it is of 3.1 to 3.5, grade should be D. So like that, it is already a predefined circular given to me, and based on that, I need to populate the grade column. So if that is the case, go for the first one, take a sample case, 3.5. What should be the grade, people? Anybody? Grade D. If it is of 3.9, C. So like that, I need to find out the result. Now, if this is the case, what is that first thing it comes to our mind, or how did you solve this kind of problems?
Because all grades are in alphabets.
Obviously, alphabets only. That is this output. So what you do in that case, because this is not something new to us. In the corporate, there are so many cases we deal with like this, like our discount slab, incentive slab, our income tax slab, or quantity discount you could give it, or production discount you give, anything, you name it, you will be having always a slab results you need to compute. Or you do the aging analysis of our outstanding of the customers or vendors, 0 to 30, 31 to 50, or 60, or 61 to 90, or more than 90, or more than 180, more than 120. All this kind of bucket or classifications we always do. So those cases, how do you handle it? My simple question. Yeah. Don't worry, I'm not doing any kind of assessment. You can speak up what exactly you do. Or if this kind of situation comes, how would you handle it? Will you go and check one by one, 10,000 times?
No, we can use a VLOOKUp here, right?
Okay, VLOOKUp, if you do, how it will work for you. So if I go for VLOOKUp, I'm doing it since you are saying, I will take the rating, comma. If I go for over here, these two columns, locking the cell, then comma 2, comma 0. Do you agree? This would be the formula.
Yes.
And when I go for it, what I'm getting?
No, but I will not get it correct.
Right, because we are not having a one-to-one match. So
Match,
wherever it is having a one-to-one match, I am getting the result. Can you see this 5.0? I am getting the result since it is matching over here.
Yes.
Right. But rest of the cases, since it is not having a one-to-one match, it is falling in a range because 3.5, it is falling in the second range. 3.7, which is more than 3.6, but less than 4.0. That's why, again, it is falling in a range. So where it is having one-to-one match exactly, I am getting the answer. But where the data falls in a range, we are not getting.
So we'll convert this range. We'll convert this range into like the others, like A plus, right? A particular is this something related to mean median? Like I can think of mean median mode. Like I'll convert it to a range and then I will get my exact match and then I will use a VLOOKUp.
Well, how to do that? It's not about exact match we are talking about. That's a different story. Mean, median, mode, what you are calculating, that will be a different story. So here, as such, we know a VLOOKUP formula, but VLOOKUP formula is not working since we do not have a one-to-one match all the cases. But wherever it is having a one-to-one match, it is giving the result. But as a larger picture, if I see, VLOOKUP is not helping me, right?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Then what is the choice we have? In this case, ideally, 99% people, what they do, they go for a if formula, the logical formula. And just imagine how many conditions we have. Around 6.
Yes.
So I have to write multiple if formula to get this executed. And when you write these 6 conditions in one cell itself, and like this 10,000 head counts, when you go and apply the formula towards down, that itself is going to make your file size heavy. As I told you in the day one itself, in any Excel file, the more the if formula, file size will be heavy. Able to recall?
Yes, yes.
Right. So having said this, though we can get our solution by writing the multiple if formulas, but that we never suggest. So what we can do, people, in that case, to make my file size not heavy or to keep my data processing faster over there in the situation, we can replace the same by using VLOOKUP with approximate match. Now, if this is so simple, VLOOKUP with approximate match, then why people are not using? Because you can't apply VLOOKUP with approximate as it is. The way you do VLOOKUP with exact match, similar fashion, you can't apply VLOOKUP with approximate match. There are 2 rules you have to always follow. Rule number 1, the data must be containing a matrix. So this data, whatever it is there, it should be in a matrix form. Rule number 1. Rule number 2, the data must be sorted. Like either it could be ascending to descending or descending to ascending. There must be an order. So we'll go and satisfy the rules one by one. What is the meaning by matrix? Just see. 0 to 3, it's a theory to understand. But technically, if I would like to present you on the screen, how will I present? I will show you. Just see. I'll go for over here 0, 3.1, 3.6 over here. And then I'll go for 4.1 and I can go for 4.6 and I'll go for 5. Okay. Now, if I go and hide this column, what is the meaning you are getting? If suppose somebody is scoring 0, definitely I'll be giving E grade. Now, next parameter starts from 3.1. So what is the meaning? When somebody is scoring more than 0, but less than 3.0 or equal to 3.0, still I'll be giving E grade only. Do you agree with that?
Yes, yes, because it's not a 3.1.
Right.
Yes.
So it is called range. So when the person scores 3.1 or more than that, but less than equal to 3.5, that is called grade D. So this is what nothing but the understanding of our range. So when
Yes.
the data is in range, and what type of data can fall in range? The number. So numbers, this is for the understanding we have created, and this is what your matrix. So this matrix should be sorted. Yes, it is sorted, starting with 0, ending out with, so smallest to largest order, it is already there. So all these two rules, what I suggested or told you, is it satisfied?
Yes.
Now, coming to the formula, just watch 1 minute on my screen what I'm doing, okay? Is equal to Vlookup. I took it. Lookup value from the rating column from the left, I have taken, comma, table array. So table array, I have to search from this array to this array. Do you agree?
Yes.
Now, in this, when I go for it, this range should not move down or move right. I need to lock it. That's for sure. Comma. How many columns are there? In this border maroon area, how many columns are there?
3.
And which column is containing the grade?
3rd.
So we should define 3 column index number. Now, comma, it is asking me range lookup, approximate match, true, false, everything. And as we discussed, VLOOKUP always ends up with 0, stands for exact match or one-to-one match. Now we discovered one more option is called, we have got approximate match. So for that, 1. So 1 stands for your approximate match. When the data is having one-to-one match, it will be giving the result. If the data is not having one-to-one match, it is falling in a range, it will be taking the result as well. So that's what your approximate match. And the moment I go and hit enter, formula is ready, giving the answer. The same I can go and apply for the rest. Double click on the fill handle. Now you see, without having any kind of hassle or struggle, we could generate all our answers over there. Okay. So this is how people, these options will be very, very helpful whenever you go for VLOOKUP with approximate match. Try this. Any difficulties, you can ask me. So as I told you, your incentive slabs or discount slabs, income tax slabs, wherever you feel that it's a range, it's falling over there, you can always take this kind of calculations provided the two rules are satisfied. There must be a matrix and the data must be sorted. Malini, I believe it's clear now. The VLOOKUP with the approximate match. All right, so
Yes, it's clear.
right,
Yeah.
so we'll go for one level up, people. Okay.
Prabhas, what about text? Like, see here, you have dealt with numbers, no?
Mhm.
Suppose there is in a text format, suppose Adam, Sally.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose we want to, instead of ADAM, it is AADM. So if we use this, this one function, will it catch those values?
No. This is only meant for numbers. That's what I told you in the beginning. Approximate match, which is applicable when the data falls in a range. And what type of data falls in a range? Only in the numbers. So when the text you have like first 2 characters or 3 characters, if it is matching, still will be getting the result. VLOOKUP is not meant for that. So for that, you have to go for a different concept. You have to go with VLOOKUP, lookup value with left, right formulas and all. You have to ascertain 2-3 characters from the left. All these things you have to do. That's a nested formula again. Yeah. Now, one thing I can take you through, suppose you have the data, take an example over here. Like I have got something, Adam Sally, okay. But again, I mean, okay, but we should have the data common to match. Okay, anyway, we'll see that. I'll immediately take you through something. Control C. So I have got some data over here, just say. Okay, so I am looking for something over here. So Sally, wherever Sally is there, it should still pick up the value, whatever the rating. So if I go for is equal to VLOOKUP and taking this data, and when I go for these two columns and comma 2, comma 0, I will not be getting. And in fact, if I go even for 1 also, I will be not be getting the result. But sometimes it will be taking a different result over here. If I go for Sally, it is 3.4. But what I'm getting, 4.3. So how it is taking 4.3, I have no idea. But if I go and sort this data, just go for Alt DS and we'll go for our rating. And if I go for smallest to largest, now it will be taking 5. Whereas 5, who is having? Only Alexander, Emmy, and Alan Saron. So it is taking different result, which is not exactly matching with my criteria. But my criteria is something where exactly Sally is there, that should be 3.4. Do you agree? Yes, Malini?
Yes.
Are you there? Okay. Fine then. So since he's not there, let me just complete the task since I have initiated. See, in that case, what you need to do.
Actually, I took time to unmute. Yes, I understood that.
Right.
Yeah.
So in this case, as it is, VLOOKUP with approximate match is not helping me. So what you can do is you can go for VLOOKUP, lookup value, whatever you have. Okay. So this cell value, whatever the result is there. Okay. What you can do is you can start with one apostrophe, I mean, your asterisk symbol, and then you can take SAL. Okay, you can take this or you can take the cell reference or the character over here. So I'm taking this cell characters as it is over here, SALLY. Okay, now when I take this over here, again, I'll take one more asterisk. So I am giving a symbol, I'm giving a wildcard character command to Excel that lookup value is not exactly Sally over here. Anything before Sally should include, anything after Sally also should include. Now, comma, table array. If I take this over here, comma, 2, comma, 0. So when I go for 0, now, even if I go for 0, this is not matching because this asterisk as it is command, it's not helping me. So I need to keep it over here within 2 double inverted quotes. Now this again, I'll go for ampersand and over here, this Sally text also to be there. And then I will take this again ampersand. I will take this. I'll complete that. I'll explain then. Now, can you see? So even though I have not got the entire character of the data, whatever it's matching, it's also partially matching, but I still get the result of 3.4. So this is called our wildcard character application. So what is the meaning by this asterisk in the beginning and the end? It is nothing but considering the entire record. So anything before Sally should be included. Anything after Sally should be included to be taken as a lookup value. So this is called wildcard character. Okay. So when your data is not, I mean, the numbers, it's in a text. This is how you can go for some partial records to match, or at least we call it as some certain characters. If you want to match it, this is the way you can go for it. All right. Yeah. Fine then. So let's go for the next level, people. So the next sheet is called our advanced lookup. So here, now let me take you through the data first. Please stay focused. Suppose say my boss asked me, Prabhas, get me the entire employee related information. So I gave a respective T code in my system, SAP, and I downloaded data. I could find near about 10,000 records comes in this format. Like we have got the employee ID, employee name, department they belong to, position they hold, and salary they draw. The complete picture is there in this format. Now, in this case, when I presented this data, my boss is saying, Prabhas, this data is of no use for me. You keep it with you. Just design a template for me in such a way that whenever I go and type any of the employee ID, the corresponding detail should be available. Like, for example case, if I go for ID 004, kindly look at the data. Who is that person? ID 004.
Legal
So
manager.
Mr. D should come over here. What's the department? Legal should come over here. What's the role? Position manager should come over here. How much is the salary? 2000 should come over here. This is what my boss is expecting, that I should design a template for him. So if this is the scenario, how will you deal with? This is nothing new. We have been come across and we have been doing a lot of times in our routine activities. So how did you solve this kind of problems? Whatever it comes to your mind, no issues. Feel free to share. Yes, any answers? No idea? Okay, I'll be making it very simple. If I would be asking a question based on the employee ID, please find the name. What will be your answer? What will you do? You will go for is equal to Vlookup, taking the employee ID. You will be taking these two columns and then comma 2, comma 0. You will be giving the result. Do you agree? If the question is very simple, only to find the name, this is the formula we should be applying. Do you agree?
Yes.
Right. Now, once we find out the result, and again, if I go for department, what we'll do? We'll go for another VLOOKUP, or what we do, we simply drag this formula. But the moment I go for dragging the formula, if I go for it, my entire data range is changing. So what we do, again, we go for table array, and we change our column index number to 3. Then we'll be getting the result over here. Since we are not getting, because A11 is also changing to B11. So again, I'll go and take this range to over here. So this is how when I go for it, I'll be getting legal. So similarly, if I go to position, again, I have to go for changing the column number. So every time, if you see, I need to keep changing my column number, right? Do you agree with me?
Yes.
So basically in one line, if you want to say, if I'm looking for 4 columns answers, I need to apply 4 VLOOKUP formula different times. And this is what a time consuming job. And this is what Excel never recommends, but we are doing. So now how to make some improvements on that? Just see. So instead of writing VLOOKUP formula for multiple times or going to each and every column and editing the column index number, how to do it in one go? Just see. First of all, have a look at my screen. In our master data, how many columns are there?
5.
5. Now, if you look at ID is 1, name is 2, department is 3, position is 4, salary is 5. This is how we'll keep counting left to right always, as we've discussed already. Now, if I am looking for name, name is in which column in the master data? Second. So my column index number has to be 2. Department, in which column?
Third.
So my column index number has to be 3. Position, 4. Salary, 5. Do you agree?
Yes.
So this is nothing to do with our formula. I'm just creating for your better understanding. That is nothing to do with our formula. Okay. Now 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it a sequence? Is it a chronological order?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. And our master data also is in the same sequence: name, department, position, salary. I am also looking for name, department, position, salary. And since the data is in sequence, how to write your VLOOKUP formula efficiently, we have to understand. Now see the beauty. As I told you, first we need to select our entire solution array. First 1 minute, watch my screen, absorb, understand. Next 1 minute, I'll be giving time to try. Don't worry. So first understand the things over here. If I go for my VLOOKUP formula, what it demands me? Lookup value. Now you tell me, you are ready to answer. What is my lookup value?
ID.
ID. Is it there in the left? So I can use my left arrow key. No problem. Now
Right.
what I'm supposed to do with this?
Lock the cursor.
Right. So if I go for lock, what type of locking I should follow? Think about it. This is a template. Okay. So please stay focused. If it is only one case, ideally my employee ID should not move right when I copy the formula towards right. But who knows if my boss is looking for multiple employee IDs. So he'll keep typing in A12, A13, A14 cell, and he will go and drag the formula towards down. Do you agree? That is what the standard practice anybody does.
Yes.
Right? So in that case, our A11 cell should not go to B11, but A11 should move to A12, A13, A14, and so on. If you remember, in our date diff formula, start date should move down, but start date should not move right. So what we did, we have made column lock. And how to make a column lock? By hitting F4 key 3 times. So bringing only $1 symbol before column, making column lock or column freeze or column constant. Do you agree?
Yes.
Now, come on. What is the next one? Table array. Where to search? As I told you, the first column should be your employee ID. Whatever your lookup value, that should be your first column. So before ID, anything is there, I no need to select. But after that, what I need to go for? I need name. I need department as well. I need position. I need salary. I need everything. Correct?
Yes.
Now, this
Yes.
range should not move down or move right. So I should lock it F4 once. Now this becomes my table array. Coming to next, column index number. So here our requirement is column index number has to be 2, 3, 4, 5. But we cannot define all these numbers together. And neither we could go to each and every column and change the index number. So here we are going to define something that automatically this 2, 3, 4, 5 will be populated when I drag the formula right. If you remember, in our day 1, we discussed a formula called small and large. Do you remember? For vendor evaluation, small and large. And there also we were looking for 1, 2, 3 in place of K. And what is the formula we had used to generate those 1, 2, 3? Anybody?
Equal to max.
No, no, no. We had used row formula. We had used row formula. Did you remember? Row minus 11. We
Row
had
minus,
done this,
yeah.
right? So why we use the row formula? To generate 1, 2, 3, the series. So here also we need 2, 3, 4, 5. But we are looking for the data in a column. So row formula always gives the row number as the answer. Similarly, there is a formula called column, which will be giving me the column number as the answer. Now, column number, which column number I'm working with? So if you look at which column I'm working with, column B, because this is the place we are designing the formula. But B is an alphabet, but technically if you count, what will be the number of B? It is going to be returned. A as 1, B as 2, correct? So my column formula will return the answer, the number as 2. Just say, is it returning? Yes. Is this the same number we discussed to generate? Right. So this is how the column formula will be doing the job for us. And whatever the number it returns, this will become the column index number for VLOOKUP formula, nothing else. Now, once it is done, then what it asks me, range lookup, true, false, approximate match, exact match, and we discussed already that VLOOKUP always ends up with 0. Formula is ready only for a cell, need to apply for rest. As we know, control, enter, and we got the data one shot. So this is how we no need to go for multiple VLOOKUP formula at any point of time. One VLOOKUP formula is alone enough along with the column combinations if the data is in same sequence. So give it a try. Any difficulties in understanding, do let me know. It will be very, very helpful, people, to save your time. Right, people? All clear? Anybody is facing any trouble? Need my support?
This control enter is not working for me.
No, have you selected before designing the formula? Did you select the entire solution array?
Okay, let me try once.
Yeah, you can share your screen and try. No problem. Where it is missing, I can guide you. Fine. You can delete from name to salary, whatever the formula you have designed. Okay. Now how you are trying? Let's see. Got it. Right? Clear? Fine. So I'm taking the control back on the screen, and I believe everybody is clear with our scenario one. Any doubt, any queries from anybody? All right. Now let's go and do one thing one more time. Let's analyze the same situation. Please stay focused. No need to do anything. Just have a look at my screen. See, this is what we have designed. But as we know, when we are designing a template, do you believe that we can create a sample data like this and we can send it across to the somebody? Template should remain blank. So if I go and delete my employee ID, what happens? Just say, my entire formula is in trouble because of data absence. So there is no data over here to define as a lookup value. That's why my output is also not clear. It's giving and throwing an error called #NA. But again, it is going to lead the questions in the audience mind. So when I'm sending this file to someone, I should do the right treatment with this kind of errors. So what kind of treatment? As long as there is no data over here, my formula should be silent. It should not do any kind of execution over here. And then only I can come up with a beautiful template. So how to handle this? So any point of time, if you have the formula driven errors, what we need to do, just have a look at my screen for a minute again, observe what I'm doing. Next 1 minute, I'll be giving time to try with. So whenever you have this kind of situation, your formula is giving some kind of error, then you should select the entire formula and go for your F2. So here what you need to do, people, basically we need to write one more formula naming called over here if error. Before we look at my formula bar, if error. So when I go and type if error, how it works, I'll tell you. So first VLOOKUP formula will be processed by Excel. If at all VLOOKUP formula returns the answer error like this, then in the second stage, step 2, our if error formula will be applied. So when we are demanding Excel to apply if error formula, so what we are expecting in place of those errors, those things also need to declare. And for that, what you need to do again over here at the end of VLOOKUP formula, we should keep our cursor and there we should define anything. 0, nil, not available, not applicable. Anything you want, you must write within 2 double inverted quotes. And since we are working in a template, ideally we should go for blank. And I told you in day 1 itself how to define a blank cell in the formula. Anybody?
Control G.
No. That is not absolutely double
Space.
no space. That is what I told you. People commit some mistake. Don't define a space. Only 2 double inverted quotes. That is a self-implied message to retain as a blank cell. Now formula is ready. Only for a cell need to apply for rest. As we know, control enter. Now see the beauty. As long as there is no data over here, my formula remains silent over here. Now tomorrow when I go and type something or I copy paste something over here, my formula is ready. So this is what the beauty, people. Any point of time, if you handle your formula driven error, so your if error is the formula can be combined with any formula to get your results. So give it a try and check, is it working? So if error is the formula can be combined with any formula. Any difficulties in understanding if error application, people? Anybody? So if it is clear, could you please confirm in the chat box, please? Y for yes or D for done? Okay, thank you so much for your response. So now let us go and analyze this situation for one more time. Kindly stay focused. Now see, as I told you, we can't leave a template having a sample data like this. So definitely I will go and delete my employee ID. My formula is now silent, of course, but the person whom I have sent this template, say my boss, I have sent this template, and what he did, he just typed some data of his own like this. Okay. So he did not go through my instructions, whatever I have given in the cover page, and he just started typing something of his own like this. Now, formula is not working and not giving the answer. He got immediately panic. Immediately he asked me, Prabhas, what kind of template you have given? This is not working. Now, I have no idea, no clue where the thing has gone wrong. Because before I have dispatched this file, I have checked twice thoroughly and it was working fine. But now, where he has committed a mistake or is there any problem with my formula, I have no idea. So whatever the task I have been doing, definitely I would have, and I have to leave in the halfway through, or I have to lock my system, and I have to go to I have to go to his cabin, and then only I realize, okay, in his laptop when I see, he has done a silly mistake. What kind of mistake? He did not type the data properly. Now, just imagine what kind of feeling you would be having if you were in my place.
Being a manager, you are not able to follow that.
Definitely. So that is again a lot of frustrations, lot of disappointment. What kind of boss I have? He's not listening to me and he's not following the instructions. Even that is one thing. And besides that, if you look at the whole scenario, I was doing some work, and it was also very important one for me. I have left it. I have gone to his cabin. I have understood the scenario. I'll be definitely asking him to rectify. But in the meantime, the amount of time, whatever I am spending, it's a duplication of work, which is really unwanted. So there is a waste of time. But who is held responsible for that? Though it is my time or my organization's time, it's a waste, right? But who is held responsible for that? What's your opinion, Sriram? Whom you blame?
Myself only.
Obviously, because boss is always right. So we have no other scope. And of course, if you ask me, I would say it's our mistake. How? Because to commit a mistake, who has given that opportunity to boss? It's me. So what you have understood from the entire scenario is whenever you create or design a template, people give the least options to the user to type the data. Always give options to select the data. So your your errors will be minimized, and you can prevent your errors to happen also at the template side. So how to control that? With a drop-down list. So let's see now how to create a drop-down list in a template so that the person will be having a privilege to select the data rather typing the data. Fine. So keep your cursor in A11 cell, start working with me. Okay. And if you go to the data menu, you will be finding an option called data validation. This is called data validation. Okay. And when you click that, it will take you to a dialog box. You will be finding it is coming up with the settings tab. In the very first tab, validation criteria allow, it shows any value. We don't want any value to be typed. We have our own list. So let us go and create a list option. And when you select the list, immediately a source box will be opened for us. And in this source box, what you need to do, people, you need to go and select where is the data. So data is there in my employee ID, right? So starting from A3 to A7. And when I go for it and click OK, with immediate effect, a drop-down list will be ready. Okay. So when you go and click the drop-down, the entire employee ID will be available. So any ID you check, automatically things will be in place. So can you realize how the things have become more dynamic now, isn't it? And definitely whomever you send this particular template, he'll be very happy because you are not allowing him to type. You are making his job easy rather, right? Now suppose you can ask me a question, Prabhas. He's in his old world. Even though you try hard, you made him understand, he did not listen to you. In that case, see, if he goes and he's type his own style, then Excel will give a slap. Always follow the instructions. Don't try to type something of your own. Even though he try hard, it will not be responded. So automatically things will be more clear. and the drop down will be visible and he will be selecting out of this. So this is how people, whenever you create a template, design the template in such a way the errors will be always in the minimum level. All right, so scenario one, how to handle it. Is it clear? Any doubt, any queries? All right, so can we proceed to scenario two? Fine. Now, let us go and proceed with our scenario two. Same thing, we have got the master data and we need to find out now employee ID only changing, ID 003. Same thing is there. You can see the data is also in the same sequence, name, department, position, salary. So what should be the formula over here? Is it going to be the same? We look up with column combination. What say? Since our data is in the same sequence and we are also looking for in the same sequence, so can we take that? Definitely yes. So when I go for this formula, just say if I go for is equal to Vlookup, taking this data from employee ID, locking the column, comma, taking the array starting from A2 to E7. So when I go for A2 to E7, locking the same over here again, comma, we can go for the column function. So when I go for column function and comma exact match 0 and control enter, this is not giving the result. It is showing some kind of error. Why? So where is the thing it has gone wrong? Just check it out. The answer is there in the error. If you go and deeply try to understand, the answer is there in the error. If you remember in the previous case, there was an error called #NA. Why it was? What is the reason of that error? Anybody? Because of data absence. Did you remember? Now, what is the error? All the data is there, but it is unable to refer to that particular column. So reference error. So what is the meaning by it is not able to connect to that particular column? See, if you look at the column formula, I told you column formula always generates a column number as the answer. So now which column we are trying to type the formula? If you see G and H, light gray and dark gray. So dark gray starts from H column, correct? So I am right now in H column, but H, what will be the number? If you count starting from A to H, what is the number it is going to return?
7.
Count it properly.
8.
8. So if I go for my column formula, is it giving me 8? Of course, yes. But technically, if you look at our master data, in which column name is available? In this border area, name is in which column? It's in column number 2. So basically column formula is giving me 8, but I am looking for column number 2. So we know basic mathematics, what we can do? Minus 6. Done. Formula is ready. Only for a cell, need to apply for rest. Control enter. So what we have understood that though your data is in sequence, when you are applying VLOOKUP formula between two different Excel sheets or two different Excel files, slightly you need to adjust the column index number like this. So give it a try and check, is it clear? Any doubt or any questions? Is it working? We look up with
Yes.
column combinations, but slightly adjusting the column number depends upon the need. Fine. So scenario 2, we believe all are clear. Now we'll proceed to our scenario number 3. Okay. So here, same master data we are going to take into consideration, but the situation is a bit different. Just see. We are now looking for the details of employee ID 005, but no more we are looking for name as the first column. First, we look for department, then salary, then name, then position. Now, if I'm looking for the VLOOKUP formula to apply over here, department in my master data, which column it is there? What is the column number of department?
3.
3. So we have to go for VLOOKUP purpose column index number 3. Do you agree?
Yes. Yes.
Salary.
You're sharing the screen, Bas?
Yeah, my screen is already
Oh,
shared.
sorry. I don't know. Sorry. Sorry.
Okay,
I clicked.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
Fine, no problem. So department should be my 3 column. If I go for VLOOKUP purpose, column index number has to be 3 if I'm looking for department column. Is that clear?
Yeah.
If I'm looking for salary in my master data, salary in which column?
5th.
So it should be 5. Name should be 2. Position should be 4. Do you agree?
Yes.
Now 3, 5, 2, 4. Is it a sequence? Is it a chronological order?
No.
So in this case, we cannot go and apply with VLOOKUP with column combination. This is ruled out because the data is not in a sequence. The column headers are not in a sequence. Now, option 2. Do you think that we can do the cut paste work and adjust the columns in such a way exactly we'll get 2, 3, 4, 5? Then we can go for application of VLOOKUP with column combination and get the result. That can be done. What say? Doing the cut paste work, can we adjust the column and apply VLOOKUP with column formula? Yes, we know how to cut it. Control X, paste, Control V. Is it a difficult job? No. So we cannot, we can apply that, but do you think that that would be an ideal option? For the time being, if I have the data, I can go on apply like this, but think about a real-time situation. When you download the data from SAP or ERP, you might be having 60 to 80 fields, and out of that, suppose 15 columns, you have to just adjust like this, cut paste. While doing the job, somewhere you will be lost. Definitely. So that's the reason why this is also a not ideal option. Now, option number 3, do you believe that our VLOOKUP has the power to make the column index number dynamic like this when I drag the formula to the right? Whether VLOOKUP formula, is it having the power to change the column index number automatically? If that is the case, then why we were struggling over here? Right? So here, how to deal with the same then? Technically, we have no options left. So now we need to add more power to our VLOOKUP formula. So what is that power about? Let's have a discussion. So let's do one thing. Just leave 3 to 4 row items down and start working with me. Create a cell naming called Jan and drag it down till December.
Yes, if you have authority, can you mute others if you don't mind?
Yeah, I do. But I did not check. Let me see. Okay. Fine. Now, in this entire block, how many variables we have? Once you create your data, please stay focused for a minute. In this entire block, how many variables we have? We have got 12 variables. We have got 12 variables, right? Now, if I ask you, what is the position of May in this block? So you will be telling, okay, Prabhas, it is 5, because you will start counting Jan as 1, Feb as 2. The moment you reach May, it gives the answer as 5. Do you agree?
Yes.
Right. Now, the same thing, when I would like to do this job in Excel, what Excel is going to do, just stay focused. Excel will going to take a formula help called match. And what match does, let's have a focus. It asks me lookup value first. So Vlookup also asks for lookup value. Hlookup also asks for lookup value. Similarly, match also asks for lookup value. And as we told or discussed, lookup value is nothing but what we have with us to search. Then, comma, lookup array. Lookup array, here we need to understand. Vlookup, if you remember what it was asking, table array. Hlookup, also table array, but match is asking for lookup array. There is a very thin line you need to understand. This is the place where people commits a mistake. Whenever any formula in Excel asks you whether it is array or table array, is nothing but the combination of your rows and columns. I repeat, if at all any formula in Excel demands table array or array, it is nothing but the combination of your rows and columns. Whereas if your formula demands for lookup array, it can be either a complete column or a complete row. It cannot be both. So in our case, our data, how it is appearing? Is it in a particular column or a particular row? It's in a complete column or a particular column. So I should take this. So that's the meaning called lookup array. So lookup array can be a complete column or a complete row. Now, having said this, come on, how do you end up with, how Vlookup ends up with 0, Hlookup 0. Similarly, match also we are going to complete with 0 function. So 0 stands for exact match. We know that very well. And the formula will be giving the result in number again, 5. Now, what match formula does, people? It takes the cell value as a reference and input and finds out the cell location or cell position as the answer. Now, you see, if I go and change May to September, what will be my answer? Is it going to be 9? Yes. If I go for December, is it going to be 12? Yes. If I go for Feb, 2. If I go for May, it's 5. So this is what basically, people, our match function. So please give it a try and check your match is working for you.
Yes. And we can also bring Iferror to this match as well, right?
Yeah,
Data validation.
I mean, if your data is not there, you can say not available. In that case, suppose say I'm looking for something else, say sun, and the moment I go for this will be returning me the answer like this. So I can write over here in the formula itself, like going over here, match. We'll go for if error. So if error can be combined with any formula. If the data is not matching, then I return answer not available. Something like this. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So match formula. Is it working? Clear for everyone?
It's working.
Right. Now, for the time being, as a layman, just think one thing over here. No need to go for some extraordinary thought process. Just think very, very minimum level. Match formula gives the answer a number. Okay. Similarly, our column formula also, it was returning the answer as a number. Okay. But column formula we used since the data was in sequence. Now, since the data is not in sequence, we have to use the match formula. So in the previous case, VLOOKUP purpose, what column formula we had used, in place of column, we have to use the match formula now. That is the only difference. Hope it is clear. In place of column, we have to use the match formula. That's the difference. But how to use it? Let's see. So let's start working together. Is equal to VLOOKUP. Lookup value is employee ID, and we need to make it column lock so that tomorrow if my boss wants to type further more employee IDs and he drags the formula will be automatically taking care about the result. Now, comma. This demands table array. As we discussed, where is the table array? So table array is over here in this array completely. Now this array should not move down or move right. Go for F4, comma. Now this is demanding me column index number. So I am looking for 3, 5, 2, 4. But I can't define all these 4 numbers together. But yes, we have discussed a formula called our match. So taking the match now over here, when I start with, now give your entire focus to match. Forget that you are working with VLOOKUP on all, just focus on the match formula. What it demands, lookup value. Now, what is our lookup value? Can anybody say that?
ID.
Employee ID? Employee ID, right? So technically employee ID is our lookup value, G11. But that we have already given to VLOOKUP. So we have nothing. We have nothing to give as a lookup value for match. But technically we have something. What is that? Can we take this department column header as a lookup value, comma, can we search in the lookup array? I told you lookup array, a complete row or complete column. So in our master data, how our headers are arranged in one row or in one column? Definitely in one row. So can we go and search in this array? If you look at our formula bar, can we search in this array? Right? Taking department, when I go and search in this array, how many cells are there in this array? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now department, what is the position? 3. So automatically match formula will return the answer as 3. And is this the same number we were expecting the moment we started the discussion?
Yes.
Right. So now to complete our match formula bar, there should not be any movement, neither towards down or not towards right, F4. Now, comma, match, how it ends up with? Match ends up with 0, making as a one-to-one match. And when I go for this over here, then this match formula, is it returning me the answer as 3? Yeah, that's what we are expecting. Now, match is giving the perfect result. We got the understanding, but we are not writing the match formula alone over here. We are writing inside VLOOKUP. We are defining the formula inside VLOOKUP. So ideally, VLOOKUP also ends up with 0. So comma 0, we need to complete it. And the moment we complete the formula, it is designed only for a cell, but we need to apply for the entire range. Shortcut, control, enter, and our problem starts. Still, it is not getting the result. It is giving #NA. So why? What is the thing that has gone wrong? Match is giving the result. VLOOKUP purpose table array is fixed. G11 column is locked. VLOOKUP also ends up with 0. This is already defined. Still, we are not getting the answer. You may come across this kind of situation so often in the routine activities, people. So don't break your head. Don't be panic. Don't get disturbed. Just keep yourself calm and one time go back to your data and check whether any problem in the data. Could be the case. We can't say. As I told you, 90% cases we receive the data in uncleaned or unstructured format. So there might be some problem in the data. Let's go and analyze. If you look at our employee ID, how many characters it is seeming it is available in that cell? If you look at how many characters it seems it is there?
6.
6 characters. Now just see, if I go and check equal to len over here, and if I go for this cell, it shows me 7. So what is that you have understood? It seems some unwanted character is available. That's for sure. But I can't just being judgmental and immediately come to a conclusion that there is an extra space. It looks like a space, but it may not be a space. So don't immediately come to a conclusion that there is some extra space. So how to deal with it? Now we have confirmed that there is some unwanted character. Now, if at all it is a space, to remove that, we have a beautiful formula naming called trim. So trim is the formula. It is predefined by Microsoft Excel, whose basic job is to remove the unwanted spaces, though it is in the beginning or in the end or in the middle, wherever you have in the cell, it will remove that. Now, the moment I take this cell again, now the data is clean. If I go and check is equal to len, is it now giving one character less? So now we are confirmed that was a space which is now removed by our trim formula. All right. So this is how you may come across the unwanted spaces could be there in your cells. So we have to remove that. So now the question is, Prabhas, do I need to go and create a separate column with trim and cleaning the data? Then again, I go and copy paste special value over here. I should generate the formula later? No. This is just for the understanding. I told you all these things. So when you come to know, we are confirmed, okay, there is some unwanted spaces, data is uncleaned. No need to do anything. Just make your formula efficient enough in such a way. It will first clean the unclean data and then it will be giving the result. So how? If you open the formula, which element is uncleaned as we discussed? Anybody?
ID.
That is what? What is the address of that ID?
Instead of E7, we can go with
No. In this formula, which element is uncleaned we have discussed? ID is what is the $G11, right? So $G11 alone you should retain within trim. So trim open bracket $G11 again close bracket. So that itself, it is going to do the job for us. So first, trim will do its job. It will clean the data, and that cleaned value will become the lookup value for Vlookup. Formula is rectified only with one cell. Need to apply for rest. Control, enter. See the beauty. Though our data is unclean, but still we are able to fetch our answer. So that's what the beauty, people. Vlookup with match combination. It becomes a very powerful formula in Excel. And whenever there is a need, if you want to search something vertical and horizontal as well, you can go for application of that formula. So please give it a try and check it's working. So whenever you design any kind of templates, summary reports, tabular reports, this formula will be playing a great role. So if at all nothing is clear, you please ask me, or anything you did not understand, do let me know. I will help you out. Fine, so I got 3 responses. They are done with that. How about others? Are you clear what we discussed about scenario 1, scenario 2, and scenario 3? Anyway, so now what we are going to do, people, let's go for the next sheet name called nested if. Yeah,
So, I have questions.
please ask.
Can I use the third scenario in second scenario? Use same formula in second scenario?
Yeah, you can. You can go for over here.
Second questions. Just show me scenario 2 and scenario 3 in another set. I want to see this.
Another set in the sense like on a worksheet.
Another new set.
Okay, worksheet. Okay. So fine, no issues. So scenario 2 over here. And you asked me for scenario 3. So I'm taking another workbook completely. Okay.
Yeah.
Now this is what scenario 2 over here. I am having one more workbook and there is my parent workbook over there. So if I go for it, one formula, as I just told you, you can go for simple VLOOKUP with match here also, here also. So which one you would like to go for? Same VLOOKUP with match or VLOOKUP with column?
VLOOKUP with
Column. Okay. So if I go for is equal to VLOOKUP with column, taking this over here, comma, going to the other Excel workbook, and this is my table array. I will log this from here itself. I can continue over here the formula. Okay. So if I go for this, by default, it comes as locking because we are working with 2 different Excel files. That is what the beauty. If you have the data in 2 different Excel files. Now, comma, what is the column index number? I need to go for the column formula. And why I'll go for column formula with no other setup, since my data in the same sequence. Here also column A is starting point. In my workbook also, I'm working with starting point as column A. So I can simply go for column formula, comma, 0. And then when I go for control enter, I'll be getting the result. So this is what the formula. Now, coming to the match formula over here, same thing. You can go for match formula is equal to VLOOKUP, taking the data range over here, and then I'll go for my column lock, comma, table array. We should go for this over here and taking this array, locking the cell over here, then match formula. So when I go for match formula over here, I need to check what I need to go for my Excel worksheet department column header, taking over here, going to the other workbook and taking over here this array because I need to take the lookup array. And when I take this comma 0 for exact match, now this is going to return me a number and that number is going to be my column index number. Since I'm working with VLOOKUP formula, I need to go for closing the formula with comma 0. Now control enter. But this is showing array since our ID 005 was having an unwanted character. And since it is having an unwanted character, if at all it is a space, we can complete this formula by taking trim formula over here and control enter. Okay. So this is what I need to check what happened. Taking this A2 to E7, this is taking over here automatic locking. So I should not have done that. Fine. Control enter. We got the result. All right.
Okay.
No worries, technically remains the same. Only thing is you have to keep practicing taking your live data. If at all anything is missing, you can drop me a mail. I will be guiding you with that proper solutions on that. Don't worry.
Okay.
Right. Fine then. So we are done with our VLOOKUP with advanced level like multi-criteria lookup, VLOOKUP with column combination, VLOOKUP column with Iferror combination, how to connect to a drop-down to make it dynamic. Then VLOOKUP with our match combination, VLOOKUP with trim combination. So all these things we have seen the various scenarios. Now we'll go for our next sheet naming called nested if. So we are going to discuss the logical formula applications over there in our Excel sheet over there, how to do it. See, we have got a score. We need to check if the person scores greater than 50, result should be pass, else fail. So if I need to check that, what I'll do, I'll go to a simple if formula, equal to if, taking the logic over here, if I go for it, equal to if, demands me logical test. What is the meaning by logical test? I need to depend upon a cell where I need to conduct my test. Is it greater than 50? That I need to check it. Then when we are doing a test, as we discussed already in day one, there might be a success or a failure. So we need to follow that order. So success, value if true. So what does it mean by value if true? If the score is exactly greater than 50, result should be pass. So value if true should be pass. Pass is our own text we must define within two double inverted quotes, comma. What's the next one? There might be a failure, could be the case, we never know. So if the person is not more than 50 or greater than 50, ultimate result will be definitely fail. So fail is our text we need to define within two double inverted quotes. Now when I go and complete the formula, it shows me the result. So let's have a check. If I go back to my score and check something which is less than 50, say 35, fail. If I go and check something more than 50, 65, pass. What if I define 50 exactly? What will be the result? Should be pass or fail?
Pass.
So result is showing fail because Excel doesn't understand the emotions, right? Why it is showing fail? Because we have given the condition greater than 50. So it will always stick to that only. But ideally, if suppose somebody has done some hard work, he has scored 50, would you be so rude enough to declare him fail? No. But how to define that? So we need to go and customize the formula greater than equal to. So that makes a precise condition 50 or greater than 50. If at all anybody scores, result should be fail, pass. So this is how people, whenever there is a need, we can go and design our formula in such a way so that it will be giving the result exactly as a logical condition. So I believe it's working for everyone. Any doubt, any queries in this simple if formula application? All right. Now let us go for our next question. Suppose say there are two new joiners in my department, naming called A and B. My boss asked me, Prabhas, just do a assessment for them. These are the new guys. Let's see what is that they have the potential, what is the skill level they have. So I have conducted a assessment. Those guys, they have got their respective scores. A has scored 50, B has scored 90. I'm just looking at the score. My boss immediately passes a statement that score of A is greater than score of B. So technically, if you look at score of A, 50, is it greater than 90? No, not at all. So immediately I can say in front of his in his face, sir, whatever you are passing a statement, it's a wrong statement, it's a false statement. But if I tell that, definitely it will hurt his ego. I don't want to take that risk. I just want to do one thing. Whatever the statement my boss has passed, whether it is a true statement or it's a false statement, Excel should check and give the result. So whenever you want to check a statement status, how to check it? Again, we can go for a simple if formula. Taking the A score greater than score of B, comma, if this is true, then statement condition status will be true. If a statement status is not true, ultimate answer is false. So this is how a simple if formula also, again, it will helping us to check a statement status. All right, clear? All right, people. So a simple if formula, how to write it, we have understood. But remember, as I told you, the more the if formula, file size will be heavy. So in this particular case, whatever we discussed, this is definitely anybody's choice, and our expert also, they do suggest like this to define the condition, but I don't recommend this. What I suggest is just see my screen. If I want to check the same statement status, what I can do, I can take this simple logic, score of A equal to score of A greater than score of B. Simple. No if, nothing. A simple operator will be acting like a if formula. And the moment I hit enter, I got the result. So now you tell me, being an audience, if you want to look at which option you will prefer to see the most, option 1 or option 2?
Option 2.
Definitely.
2.
So this is
Easy.
how you have to always keep in your mind and always try to keep your formula length minimum, and wherever it is possible, try to use the operator the most to design a condition, and where the output is confined to true or false. Hope it is clear. Any doubt, any queries in question number 2?
It's clear.
Right. Fine. So now we are going to discuss something called nested if. Okay. Here we have a score. You can check we have a score, and we need to check that if the person scores, somebody scores less than 25, result should be fail. If he scores more than 25 but less than 50, result should be grade C. If he scores more than 50 but less than 75, it is score B. If he scores more than 75, score would be grade A. So this is how condition over here. Okay. If it is there, we need to check after looking at the score, what should be my output? What should be the grade? Can you just manually check and let me know? $79, grade A, definitely. So that is what we need to find out. So we have got 1000 people score like this, and we need to find out which grading system they are following. So how to do that? Yes, people. First, you tell me, no need to be just trying hard something over here. What is the answer? What can be done over here?
Multiple conditions. You have to define multiple conditions.
Yeah, but how to do that? That is what we're discussing.
We have to use this and an OR function.
No, not at all.
We have to use if less than 25 the fail, then if
Well, did you remember we just discussed a story, right? We look up with the approximate match, if you remember, right? I told you what are the options we have. We can create a matrix like this, and the same sequence, the same problem we can solve with our VLOOKUP with the approximate match. That is the best option. So always try to remember. That's what I told you at that moment also. Whenever you have the data in a slab format, so this is called slab, nothing else. So there we need to create a matrix and we need to do it. That is one concept always we have with us and we can solve it. Now, suppose say, Prabhas, okay, as you said, only if you have the numbers in place, we can go for VLOOKUP with approximate over there. Now, suppose I'm working with a text, then how to do it? Definitely I have to go for it. Yes. So if that is the case, if at all the time comes when you want to work with multiple conditions over there, then how to deal with that? So here, people always struggle. Most of the time, people struggle while designing the logic. And why they struggle? Because the approach itself is wrong. So we are going to rectify those things from the initial or beginning level. So now, if this is the thing, first, count how many conditions we have. How many conditions we have?
4.
4 conditions. As we know, think like a layman, no need to go for some extra stops. Think like a layman. As we know, when there is a conditions to be defined, we need to depend upon a if formula. As such, this much we know. So 4 conditions is there, 4 if formulas are required. But those 4 if formulas are required if we are working with 4 different individual cells. But our objective is all these 4 conditions we need to write in one cell. We need to write in one cell. So in that case, what we need to do, step 1 is nothing but total number of condition minus 1. So total number of condition is 4 minus 1 means total 3 if formulas we must write. This is our first step. Now, rule over here you need to follow. When you write multiple if formula in one cell, there should be a logical flow of conditions, either ascending to descending or descending to ascending. But there should be a logical flow. This is what the rule you need to follow. Now, having said this, how to write this formula? Just watch my screen for a minute. I will take is equal to if over here, and then what it demands me? It asks me for logical test. So how to go for logical test over here? I will go for my score. And then if it is less than 25, if this is true, should be fail. Up to this clear? Right, people? What we did, is it clear for everyone?
Yes.
Now, if my condition, suppose say, if the person is not fail, it is demanding value if false. So if the person not fail, ultimate answer is pass. But we can't define within 2 double inverted quotes pass because our problem starts there. If the person is passed, which grading system, which bucket it is going to fall? So what is the order? It may be C or B or A. So all these 3 conditions we need to define one by one. So if the person is not fail, the next possible condition may be grade C. But grade C purpose, what's the condition? Should be more than 25, but less than 50. So limitation is up to 50. To define that, we need to start one more if formula. What it demands me? Logical test. So I'll take the score. Now here people commits a mistake. What they do, First condition, they define less than 25. Next condition, they immediately go for greater than 25. So there is the mistake. What is the mistake? You are giving a condition, again, less than 25, more than 25. So Excel is confused. Which condition it has to check? So to define the condition precisely, we have to go for less than 50. And now what kind of story it makes? More than 25, but less than 50. This is the story it makes now. Comma. Value if true. If this is true, grade C. So grade C is our own output. We need to define within two double inverted quotes. We know that. Comma. Value if false. So if the person is not falling in category C, possible category B. Again, one more if formula. Taking the logical text of the score. Again, less than 75. So more than 50, but less than 75 condition will come. Comma. If this is true, grade B within two double inverted quotes. Comma. What is the next one now it is demanding? Value if false. Now just wait. If the person is not fail, neither falling the category of C, nor falling in the category of B, if none of these conditions are true, what is the ultimate answer? Grade A. So grade A is our own output. We must write within two double inverted quotes. Now just see how many if conditions we have written. 1, 2, 3. Ideally, what we discussed, is it matching now? And we know one thing, when the condition is open, logically, it has to be closed. So 3 if formulas are open, so 3 close brackets to be defined. And the moment you go for this, solution is ready. So this is how people, whenever you write multiple if formulas in a single cell, that becomes your nested if. So kindly check it out. All of you are getting your solution. Fine. Is it clear? Any questions from anybody, people? Whatever we discussed? So this is how nested if you can define, but my recommendation will be always go for Vlookup with approximate match. The reason, file size will not be heavy and the data processing also will be faster. So if you are clear with that, shall we proceed to the next? Kindly confirm Y for yes. All right. So here, now I have a question. As I have been telling you, I am just doing a postman job. Whatever Microsoft has designed, I am only just sharing that knowledge with you. But as a audience or as a user, are you happy using such a formula like this lengthy formula?
No, sir.
Definitely,
It's very confusing.
definitely. So you did not ask me a question, Pravas. This is really a tiresome job, and logically it is always confusing. Do you have any other options to make our job easy? You should have asked me.
Prabhas, after 4 or 5, maybe I saw two more, examples to be given. I would have asked you after the fourth and fifth one, do we have a shortcut to this?
Okay, great. I mean, that kind of thought process should be there. Then only you can improve your skills also. So I will tell you, just look at my screen or your screen also. Just try this. Is this a formula you see on your screen called IFS?
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is what the workaround for the same. If you want to make your life easy in terms of understanding and little bit of file space occupancy, this formula will be helping you out. Just see how it works. Very beautiful one. IFS, it is demanding logical test one. Same thing, taking the score, I'll go for less than 25 and comma, value if true, fail. Now, if you look at, it is directly asking logical test 2. It is no more asking value if false. Do you remember the difference? If formula immediately asks value if false, but if formula, it directly asks for the next logic to check. What is the next logic? Taking the score less than 50. If this is true, grade C. Now again, logical test 3. Again, going for same score over here, less than 75. If it is true, grade B. Now, what's the next condition? Value over here, it is defined. So logical test 4 now. So here precisely we have to give the logic because we can't give directly over here as grade A. We need to check again the logic. If the score is greater than equal to 75, then what you need to do over here is grade A. So now, how many conditions we have written? Only one. How many formulas? Only ifs formula one. So one close bracket. That's it. Now see the result. Same result. Okay. So now you tell me which option seems easy to understand, 1 or option 2. So this is how, if you are working with the higher versions of Microsoft Excel, things will be more faster, more easy, and you can save a lot of time. So this IFS formula is available only if you are in 2016 or 2019 or Office 365 or 2021 version of Microsoft Excel. So hope our question number 3 is this nested formulas, how to write it logically. We have got a clarity.
Professor, for
Yeah.
me, it's not done.
Okay, what you're getting? Could you please spell out the formula or copy paste in the chat box?
Formula is same, but it's not showing if I type IFS, ifs, but it's not showing the formula actually.
Okay, which version of Microsoft Excel you are in?
2016.
Student version?
I don't know.
No, I mean, you can share your screen. Let me have a look.
Yeah,
Because 2016 definitely it will be there. If it is a student version or home edition, it will not be there. Okay, go to home. Go to home. Okay, now hit enter. Now go back to the formula. Some extra characters are there. Let me have a look. See, B 10 greater than C13. You should not have the C13. Last formula, C13 is there one. Delete that. C13 alone. Now hit enter. Okay. Now just type IFS equal to, no. Come out of that. Come out of that. Escape. Just type IFS is equal to IFS. You don't have the formula. So don't try that. Go for escape and go to the file menu. Go to escape and go to file menu. File. Go to account. Your Office standard version is there, this one. That's why you are not getting. When you have your enterprise versions or professional plus or professional pro version, you will be getting that formula. Because home and student versions only for the minimum uses. You will not be getting all the formulas or features. So you have to upgrade your MS Office. There is no other go.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the reason why I told you first you need to know, or you need to identify your own version, what is it is installed in your system, because of all these regions. Anyway, so you can do that later. Okay, so now let us go for.
Because I'm getting this name, I've tried it, but I'm not getting I'm not getting A as the result. I'm getting name.
Okay.
What could be the reason?
Okay. You can share your screen. Let's have a look.
Visible?
Not yet.
Now?
No. Okay, you can do one thing. Just copy paste that formula in the chart box. Let me have a look.
I have to do F2, right? To show,
Yeah.
to
F2
show the
control.
formula?
F2.
Huh?
Yeah. In the form, you can do one thing. You can press F2 and show the formula, or go to the formula bar and select the entire formula.
I'm not able to. It's fine. I'll ask later. I don't know. I'm not able to.
No, you can spell out what is the spell out the formula. Otherwise, is equal to
It is IFS. I've written if is equal to IFS bracket B10 less than 25, comma inserted its fail, then comma B10 less than 50, comma inserted C, then after that comma B10 less than 75, comma inserted B, then comma inserted A.
no. You should go for B10 greater than equal to 75. This is what the chart box, if you see the formula also I have written. So last condition B10 greater than equal to 75, then comma within two double inverted quotes A you should write. So last condition is not precisely given. That's why you are getting the error.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Fine. So now we'll go and check another two logical formulas of Excel over here, and then we'll go for a short break. Okay. So since we are in the flow of the formula, I don't want to disturb. Is that okay? We can complete this and go for a break.
Yes, sure.
Okay. Thank you. So now there are two other logical formulas of our Excel people, naming called and or. So basically, this will be individual not playing much role, but when you go and combine with other formulas, it is having a very powerful uses. But yes, logically, we need to understand how this works, what exactly it does. And an or formula, it comes into picture whenever you want to check more than one condition over there in Excel. So what AND formula does, it checks each and every conditions, and if at all the conditions are satisfied, the answer will be true. If any condition is not satisfied, the answer will be false. Whereas the OR formula just does the opposite. When you check multiple conditions, if any condition is satisfied, OR formula will be giving the result as true. It will be more clear when we go for a real-time example. Let's go and start working. Is equal to AND. This demands logical 1. So from the second question, take score of A greater than 30. Just type as it is. We'll deal that later. Just type as it is. Logical 2, second question, again score of B less than 60. So two conditions we need to check. Now hold on. After writing this, hold on. Score of A, 50. Is it greater than 30? 50. Is it greater than 30? So yes, means technically answer is true. Score of B, 90. Is it less than 60? So it is false. So one is true, one is false. We are operating with and I told you and purpose, all the conditions have to be satisfied. Since one is not satisfied, ultimate answer is false. So that's what our and formula. So what and formula does, it checks each and every conditions. If at all any condition is not satisfied, it will be giving the answer as false. So hope and formula is clear. Now the next condition, let's go for OR. Same logic we need to check, but with OR formula. Okay, now see the result. Score of A, 50. Is it greater than 30? Yes. So Excel is not going to bother about checking the rest of conditions since the first condition itself it is satisfied. Answer will be true. So that is what your OR formula. So what OR formula does, if any condition is satisfied, ultimately answer will be giving us true. So this is what basically your and OR formula, people. Any point of time, if you want to check multiple conditions, you can make use of the same. So this is the story of our nested if sheet, people. How to define our logical formulas, how to keep your formula length always minimum, how to go for nested if, what is the workaround for that, and what is the advanced version of our nested if formula is called ifs, and how to use this and or, we got a clarity. Any questions from anybody? Right. So with this, we'll go for a short break, people. Okay. So in my system, it is 422.435. Again, we'll catch up and we'll discuss the rest. So have a brisk, come back soon. We'll discuss our rest of topics. All right, people. So I believe everybody's back. Could you please respond in the chat box? Why for yes? So we have done with our nested if formulas. Then now we'll be proceeding to some more dashboard functions or formulas over here, naming called aggregate functions. So go to the sheet name called sum and count, and we have got some 5 columns of data with regard to our employees related information, like date of training, name of the employees, division they belong to, salary they draw, and training expenses incurred upon the same. Now, taking all these 5 columns into reference, we need to answer all these 6 questions. This is what our objective. Now go for the first one. Count occurrence of division HFD. So which column we need to focus?
Column C.
So what we need to do in column C, wherever HFD is there, how many times it is appearing, we need to make a count of that and showcase a number. So basically, we need to do a operations called criteria-based counting. So whenever we have a criteria-based counting to be done, we need to go for a formula naming called Countif. So when you go for Countif formula, what it demands? Range. So which range we have to deal? like column C, whatever from top to bottom. Then what is the next one? Criteria. What's my criteria? Division HFD. How to define within two double inverted quotes, since this is our text. Now, the moment I go for this bracket close, formula is ready, and this is going to give me an answer of 28. So this is called our criteria-based counting at any point of time. If you happen to do, we can use a formula Countif. So kindly check same answer are you received. Now, question number 2. Count salary less than 1,50,000 US dollar. So we need to deal with the salary column, and wherever the salary value is of less than 1,50,000, we need to make a count of that. So what we need to do again? Criteria based counting. So we have to go for a formula called Countif. Range is the salary, definitely. And then it asks me the criteria. What's the criteria? Less than 1,50,000. So here we need to be careful. Whenever you have a operator mix conditions like less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to, with condition you have to go and apply this criteria. Then we must define the entire criteria within two double inverted quotes. So less than 1,50,000, we need to type within two double inverted quotes. And the moment we hit enter, this gives a result of 51. So this is how people, any point of time, you want to do a criteria based counting again, how to define, we got the result. So is it the same value received? Kindly confirm. Now, the moment we have done with this, go for the next one. Some salary for division RAD. So first, which column we have to deal with? The division column. We need to find out wherever RAD is there, corresponding salary column, we have to make a total of those salaries. So basically criteria based sum to be done. So we have a ready-made formula naming called Sumif. And when you go for Sumif, what it demands? Range. So as you discussed, which range we have to see our criteria is the division. Then what it demands me? Criteria. What's my criteria? RAD. How to define within two double inverted quotes? RAD. Then it demands me some range. Which range I need to apply the sum formula? In the salary column. So when I go for it and hit enter, we'll be getting our result 90,64,787. So again, criteria based sum, how to do by using Sumif formula. We got the understanding. So any difficulties in understanding any of the formula so far? Right. Next, we'll go for our sum salary above 2 lakhs US dollar. So basically, we need to check the salary column. Wherever it is above 2 lakh cases are there, how much is the salary? We have to make a total. So again, criteria based sum to be done. So equal to Sumif, taking the range is the salary. And then we need to go for criteria. So criteria is above 2 lakhs. And we discussed already, when you have this above 2 lakh case, how to define within two double inverted quotes. We need to write above 2 lakhs. Now what's next? It is asking sum range. Which range you will be applying the sum formula? Again in the salary. But that is unwanted. Reason? Since our range and sum range is the same range, I no need to go and extend my formula length by defining the range one more time. So with criteria itself, we can complete our formula, and the moment we hit enter, this is going to give us the result. 1,32,63,214. So this is again, you have to keep in your mind, people. I told you, always try to keep your formula length minimum. So wherever unwanted data you avoid typing over there, automatically the formula length will be very less. So question number 4, is it clear? Any questions on that? So if it is clear, please confirm in the chat box quickly, please, so that I can proceed for the next. Okay, so thank you so much for your response. Now let's go for our question number 5 to answer. Some salary for more than 50,000 US dollar, but less than 1,50,000. So basically we need to deal with the salary column. We know that very well, but what we need to do? So first we need to check wherever it is above 50,000. And again, one more check is less than 1,50,000. And the values, we have to make a count or sum. We have to make a sum. So basically, we have to do again a criteria based sum, but criteria are more than one. So whenever you have more than one criteria based sum to be done, you need to go for not with sum if, we have to go for a formula sum ifs. Very powerful, but bit peculiar. So let's stay focused on this, how to write this formula. It is demanding me some range. So which range we need to apply the sum formula? Anybody quickly? So we need to go for sum in the salary. Now, what's the next one? Criteria range 1. So what would be the answer? Criteria range 1.
Greater than 50%.
Okay. So as I told you, this is a peculiar formula, people. This is the place where commit mistake. So what it is asking, criteria range 1. So as per our question, more than 50,000 USD is the criteria. So where you are going to search, that is what it is asking. So more than 50,000 cases, where you will be searching? In which range you will be searching? More than 50,000 USD, in which range you are going to search? In the salary. In the salary. This is the place again we are going to search, right? Then it is asking me criteria 1. So as per the question, what is the first criteria? More than 50,000. So within two double inverted quotes, more than 50,000, you should define it. Now, criteria range 2. So as per the question, what is the second criteria? Less than 1,50,000. But where to search? In which range you are going to search? less than 50,000 cases, in which range we are going to
Equal to
search?
same.
Again the
Equal to
salary,
DD.
again the salary, that is what we are going to give it. Then criteria 2, comma, again we'll go for less than 1,50,000 within two double inverted quotes. So this is how, when you write multiple criteria based sum to be done any point of time, you will be getting your result 21,99,323. Very powerful formula. Again, as I told you, when you go for summary report, tabular report, or templates, those cases, this will be very, very helpful. So give it a try and check, is it working? All right. So those who have got it over here, please find the answer for question number 6 quickly. 2 minutes time you have. Anybody else has got the answer, anything? Okay, how much is supposed to be the answer? See, you should know also the technique how to cross check. It's not like blindly you have to depend upon the formula. I asked you how much is supposed to be the answer. How will you check that? See, the question is, it is asking find the total training expenses incurred between 1st August 2019 and 31st January 2020. So I will have to go for a filter. So when I go for the filter over here, what is that filter I need to go for? Date filter between. So when I go for the between, my first date is 1st August 2019. Can you see? So is after or equal to, then the second one is on or before 31st Jan 2020. And when I give it the result, whatever it is showing on the screen, how much it is? Answer should be 84,284. So this is how we should know how to cross check even. So now we are doing the other way. We know that this is supposed to be the answer. So how to get that? So what's the formula? First of all, is equal to Sumifs, because we have got more than one criteria based sum to be done. Do you agree? All of you?
Yes. Yes.
Now this is asking sum range. Which range I should apply the sum? Which column I should make a total? Training expenses. So training expenses E4 to A94. Okay. Now, comma. What is the next one it is asking? Criteria range 1. So what is the meaning by criteria range 1? As per the question, our first criteria is whatever the training happened on or after 1st August 2019. But where to search? The training, whatever happened on 1st August 2019 or after that only we have to take. But where to search that?
Training.
Obviously, we have to go for date of training, isn't it? So when I go for my date of training, where it is again, starting from A4 to A94. And the moment I go for this over here, what is the next one? My criteria 1. So this is the place where you have to be careful. So as I told you, the condition has to be, you should not leave 1st August. You should include that also, but greater than equal to. And when there is a date related criteria, you must define with a proper date format. So 1st hyphen August hyphen 2019, but within two double inverted quotes greater than equal to. So that becomes my criteria 1. Now what is asking? Criteria range 2. So as whatever the second criteria, where to search? Again, A4 to A94. Do you agree? In the date column only. But what would be the criteria? Less than equal to, I should not ignore 31st. I should take that 31st Jan 2020 double quote close. So here one double quote is missing. I should define that. And once I am done with this, now my formula is ready and it will be giving the same result. What we checked manually, we got 84,284. So this is how people, when the date related criteria you have, you should give the formula like this. Check it out. Where is the mistake you have done and rectify this.
I made a mistake.
So you are close, but we have to be accurate. Hope it is working, people. All clear?
Prabhas, this date formula, na, here you have entered, like, is there any condition that the date format, if there is a date, we have to enter it in a particular format, or say, for instance, here you typed it, right?
Yeah.
So we have to ensure that it is in a numeric date format or something like that. Is there any rule regarding that?
Of course, in Excel, anywhere, the date has to be in proper date format. Proper date format in the sense either DDMMYY or MMDDYY, whatever it is. But it should be in this format. And the separator, you can, the separator, you should take either hyphen or slash. Hope it is working. All right, so kindly save all your workbooks, people, and close it. Now, go to our sample case studies folder. There is a file I have shared with you, naming called chart text. So now we are going to discuss about the charts and graphs. So we have started with the data cleansing techniques. We have discussed about some regular formulas in our routine activities, how to do the minimum data formatting, how to do our data presentation in an informative way. Then we have seen how to do the necessary data arrangements and how to present it effectively and standing out of the crowd, how to apply different visuals we have seen. Then being a professional, how to analyze your data with pivot table features and a lot of things we have discussed day 3. And day 4, we started working with some more regular functions or formulas to bring the accuracy and avoiding the duplication of work. Now, finally, we are going to discuss how to present your analyzed data in a beautiful format and in the format of a storytelling format so that people would be happy and instantly anybody, whoever is watching our data, he can make out what is what. So for that, kindly open this file called chart text. And you will be landing up with the cover page. Click on the next button. It will take you to the sheet called quick chart. So quick chart, you can see we have got the entire product wise, the revenue, how much we have made, some details are here. So let me put it in a story format so that everybody can connect with it. So before that, please confirm all of you have got this quick chart sheet open in front of your screen. Why for yes quickly? Fine. Now, suppose say my boss asked me, Prabhas, product wise, whatever the revenue we have generated throughout the year, I want to have a simple report on that. So what I did, whatever the Excel sheets I had prepared, month wise, product wise, customer wise, everything I have opened, and this is what the final summary I have prepared by consolidating all the Excel sheets. Now, having said this, what my boss is saying, Prabhas, why don't you plot the data in a graphical format? So kindly keep your cursor in the data anywhere and go for Control A. And on your keyboard, just press a simple keyboard shortcut, Alt F1. So when you go for Alt F1 with immediate effect, what do you see? A chart is ready. If F1 is not your direct key, go with function Alt F1. You will definitely get that. So kindly confirm. You will be getting an immediate chart on your screen with a simple keyboard shortcut. Right. Now suppose say this is what I have presented to my boss. My boss is still not happy. What is saying, Prabhas, the chart is in the same location where the data is there. It's not so neat and clean. It's not so presentable and the size is very small. So why don't you do something with this chart in such a way present it? When I take these presentations to the audience or to the meeting room, everybody should clap and say, wow, what a beautiful chart. And people should have a focus only with the charts. There should not be any data. It should be bigger in size, neat and clean and presentable. So this is something my boss is expecting from me. So if that is the case, then how to deal with? So select your data and on your keyboard, simply press a keyboard shortcut, only F11, just F11 only. No need to do anything. And immediately you can see an exclusive chart sheet is going to be generated on the same workbook next to your quick chart sheet. And the chart is bigger in size, neat and clean, presentable, no data, only the chart over here. So this is how people, there are 2 quick and easy ways we have to plot a graph out of any structure of your data. So kindly confirm both the options are operating, working with you. Alt F1 to prepare the chart in the same worksheet, F11 to create a exclusive chart sheet over there in our Excel workbook. Now, come back to quick chart sheet. Come back to quick chart sheet. Now, when you have the chart in place, how to make it better? If you remember in day 3, I told you, select your chart. What is the first thing you should do when you have a chart in place? Anybody?
Remove grid lines.
That was not the first step.
Title.
Tag design and
Chart design, then
select the last one in
very good.
chart type.
Very
Select
good.
the last one.
Very good. So this is the first step. Whenever you have a chart in place, select the chart, go to your chart design or design button and select the styles from the last one. The last one because it will be giving you the glossy impact or embossing effect or the shadow impact. So now you can see compared to the previous version of your chart, now it is somewhat looking great. Do you agree? Now, what's the step 2? Select the chart, click on the plus symbol. Click on the plus symbol and immediately a grid line options you can find the checkboxes on. You can deactivate that. So these are the 2 minimum formatting you must do whenever you have a chart in place. Now, next step is, though I have presented like in this beautiful pattern, but people still not be happy because it is not having the information in place. So how to add the information? Just right click on any of the column inside the chart area. You see one option called add data labels we do have. So when you click the add data labels on the respective columns, you will be finding the values would be added and select one of the data label. All the data labels would be in selection. Ensure one thing that people, whenever you are presenting your data labels, it should be in a readable format. So once you have the selection with all the data labels, go for Control B to make it bold and increase the font size by 1 or 2 points and people can read out easily. Now, though we have got all the data labels, everything as a information people, but this is one of the outdated version of your chart. Yes, outdated. Because why it is outdated, I'll tell you. But what is the latest style? What people demands? I'll tell you first. See, nowadays, if you see any of the big 4 charts or any of the McKinsey and Co, Bain and Company chart presentations, or if you are looking at or you are reading the newspaper of our say the Economic Times, or you're visiting any kind of money control sites, the best part is what you will notice, they say if you have the axis scale, there is no point of having data labels. If you are maintaining the data labels, then there is no point of having axis scale. But if you compare as an audience, which one people prefer to see, or which one is giving the instant information? Is it the data label or axis scale?
Data labels?
Definitely. So what should be the treatment of the axis scale? Let's do one thing. Select our axis scale and delete. Just press the delete button from the keyboard. This will be removed. Okay. Now coming to the chart title. Having the chart title in the center, those days have gone. Nowadays, people prefer to see the chart title in the right side. This is the latest time. But as I told you since day 1, that when you present your data as it is, nobody likes it. So what people are expecting, that you should present your data in such a way, you should tell a beautiful story. Your data should speak a better story to the audience. But how to make it? Select our data over here and go for data sorting. And anybody can recall the shortcut of data sorting? Anybody?
Alt DS.
Alt DS, D for data, S for short, very good. And the moment you go for Alt DS, sorting will be on, and you got to go for sort by over here, our USD. So sales in USD, the moment you check, and the order you should select as largest to smallest. And the moment you click OK with immediate effect, you'll be finding a beautiful story turned up over here. What's the story? That from cocoa powder, we got the maximum revenue, and from the custard powder, we got the least revenue. So any layman also sitting in the audience side, he can make out this much. Do you think that it's very difficult to understand? So kindly confirm once it is done.
Because I was not able to come out of that, what we call depth level now.
You don't need to come
How to
out.
bring-
You need to come out. You just go to the next sheet called quick chart.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, when I enter Alt plus F1, then it's showing unmute or
Go with function Alt F1. If F1 is not your direct key, function Alt F1. In the bottom line, function key is there, FN key in the left.
okay.
Function
Okay.
Alt F1. Selecting the data, function Alt F1. Did you get that?
One minute.
Yeah.
Function Alt 1. Oh,
Yeah, did you get that, Vijay?
yeah, got it.
Right.
Got it.
Fine. So now, once we have done with this, you can see a beautiful chart presentation. I mean, it turns up over here. Okay. Now, everything is fine. Now, as an audience, if you look at your chart, are you happy? I would like to take your opinion. What say? Looks good? Yes, no?
Yeah, it's good.
How about others people? Sriram only saying or giving opinion. How about others? I mean, you give me your opinion. As an audience, if you look at your chart, are you happy? Yes or no? Because if you do not give an opinion, you can't make an improvement. If you have a mixed feeling or neutral feeling, that also you can speak up. Okay. Now here, you might be happy the way you are presenting people, but audience will not be happy with that. The reason, we did a lot of things, but still we are not able to going to make an impact. The reason is, over here, the people are not comfortable reading your data in this pattern, because your data isn't having a slanting order, and you are forcing your audience to read the data by bending their head by another 30-degree or 45-degree angle. So which is really people are not comfortable with. Now, how to manage this? So where the thing it has gone wrong, the thing where it has gone wrong is nothing but the right selection of the chart is not happened. We just blindly create a chart, but that is not fitting to this data. Why? When you want to give the equal amount of emphasis to your text people, this is not the right chart. So how to take a right selection of the chart? Let's have a discussion. Select your chart and press Ctrl D to make a duplicate. Ctrl D for making a duplicate. And the duplicate one, you keep it in the bottom for your reference purpose, and go for the other one and just right click on the chart area. You will be having a option change chart type. Able to see? Then it will take you to your entire chart family in a dialog box where you could find an option called bar. And when you go to the option called bar and click OK, you will be finding a beautiful chart turns up having the equal amount of emphasis to the text, and people can read your text easily and they can make out the values also. If you believe this chart is occupying enough space, you want to reduce the width, you can. The chart is still being expressed more. So this is how people, you have to take a right selection of the chart, and that is very, very essential. And column chart where to take, pie chart where to take. You have to know about all these things. Don't worry, I'll be giving a separate guide for it. But yes, that comes out of your experience. And when you look at different models of the chart and where you can find it, if you go to the sites of our big fours or McKinsey and Co, Bain and Company, you will be getting a lot of knowledge about how to make your chart presentation better. And the other one, if you remember in the day one, I shared some 10 website names. There also you can navigate over there and you can get a lot of information or input about the charts, how to make it better. So hope everybody is clear why the selection of the right selection of the chart is very essential.
Yes.
But the problem is, if you look at in this chart, our data is having the order of largest to smallest, but chart is showing the other way, the reverse order. Chart is showing in smallest to largest order. So this is again a problem. Always give a sync to your chart over there, right? So don't give some mismatch pattern and people again, they will be confused. So how to give a exact sync or feel of the data to the chart? If my data is in largest to smallest order, chart should be also largest to smallest order. To make it happen, I will tell you a very beautiful option of our Microsoft Excel is select your text, this text section, kindly select your text and go for right click upon that. You will be finding an option called Format Axis. These people able to see Format Axis? And if you click that, it will take you through a dialog box from the right side. And there is a beautiful option we have naming categories in the reverse order. Just check. This option is not enabled. You can enable this. And see the beauty? The chart will change the order. Able to see, people? Right? So this is how we have understood out of a data of an Excel, how to create a beautiful chart, what are the necessary formattings to be done, how to make it informative, how to present our data in a storytelling format, and finally, how to take the right selection of the chart so that the chart will be more ideal, having the proper look. So any doubt, any queries in the quick chart sheet, people? All clear? All right, so now we are going to discuss the next chart type is called combo chart. So this is very important chart also, people. Why we need to go for a combo chart, what is the role this is going to play, and how it is going to convey the message to the audience. I'm going to take you through everything. So we have got month, sales in INR, and contribution one column. So if it is not clear, I'll make it very simple. Sales percentage, you can say. Okay. Now, having said this, all these three columns, if I want to plot a graph, we know the keyboard shortcut, Alt F1, go for it. And we know one thing, whenever the chart is ready, what is the first thing we should do? Going to design, take the last tile. Then plus symbol, remove the grid lines. So make a habit of following this pattern and do the minimum formatting. Then you talk the rest. So kindly confirm all of your chart clear up to this level. All right, so now once you have got the chart ready, just see this chart is not enough or it is not ready for presentation. The reason is, if you look at the chart, I'll tell you, Our legends are showing like sales INR, and we do have a sales INR related records or details. But there is one more legend. If you see, its name called sales percentage is there, but the sign is nowhere in the chart area. Then where it has gone? It is there, but it is going and sitting in the extreme bottom of the axis. Can you see small patches kind of look?
Yes.
So this is what the problem. Now, why this kind of problem arises? Because in our data, if you look at our sales data, it is in numbers. But sales percentage column is having the percentage format of data. So these are two different formattings, cannot be combined with one axis. So this is the reason why we need to create one more axis in the right side, and we need to call this as Z or Z axis, or we call it as a secondary axis, or in Excel language, we call it as a combo chart. And this sales data, whatever it is there over here, we need to present it in this axis. So then automatically it will be turned as a combo chart. So hope you got a clarity why the combo chart is very, very essential in our routine activities, people. So I'm going to take you through that. How? Just right click in the chart area, change chart type. And when you go for this, combo option will be turning up in the extreme left side of the bottom. And there, sales data, what type of chart it is showing? Clustered column. Let it be, no need to do any changes. Sales percentage, it is showing line, isn't it? So instead of line, go for the drop down and choose line with markers. So line with markers in the line category, fourth option. So when you go for line with markers, and then there is a secondary access purpose, one checkbox is also available. You can make it on. And once you put it on over here in the checkbox, you can see immediately in the data preview box, one column is added over there. And the moment you click OK, you got your things ready. So this is called nothing but, people, a beautiful chart called combo chart, adding a separate axis, naming Z or Z axis or secondary axis. So whenever you have multiple columns in place, you can take a call. Some data you can retain primary axis, some in the secondary. All right. So kindly confirm combo chart is working and pretty clear for you. Any doubt, any queries?
Maybe Shani still it's not reflecting me the same way.
Prabhas, this line with point markers, where do we select that? Where is that option available?
In the line category. In the line category, fourth option.
It's not reflecting the same way to us.
Okay, you can share your screen. Let me have a look. Just a minute. I'm just copying and pasting this. Yeah. So what you have done, okay, right click on the chart area, change chart type. Right. So clustered column is showing fine, line with markers. Okay. So why it is showing? Okay. So
Should be selected this.
no need to do anything. Did you do any changes on that?
No. This was
okay. So sales USD is showing clustered column. That will be fine. Sales percentage is showing line. Go to the line option. Go to the line. Yeah. No, in the sales percentage, that is maroon one. There you go for line with markers. Yeah. Okay. No, I guess the data is not properly selected. You do one thing. Go for cancel, please. Delete the chart completely. Select entire data, Control A. Yeah, now Alt F1. No, not Control, Alt F1. Escape, Alt F1. Now do the changes. Going to your design tab, take the last tile and grid lines, you make it off. Yeah, right click on the chart area, change chart type, combo, and line with markers and secondary axis to be selected. That's it. Now click OK.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. So this is how we have got our things over here, people. So combo chart is very, very essential. So nowadays, when you go and present multiple column data, you can always take a call to retain certain columns in the primary axis, certain in the secondary, so that the chart will not seeming to be overloaded and people can make out easily what exactly you want to express. All right. Now we are going to discuss the next chart type. Again, one of the most important chart type called budget versus actuals, or target versus actuals, or planned versus actuals. So every month end, quarter end, half yearly, yearly, whatever the presentations you make, people, this is what one of the chart type we always depend upon. So let's see. We have got 3 columns of data like month, target, and actuals. So do one thing, kindly select all these 3 columns. Don't select that cells in yellow color cells. Just select only these 3 columns: month, target, actuals, and plot the graph. What is the shortcut? Go for it. Now chart is ready, as we discussed already. First thing first, go to our design and take the last tile and remove the grid lines over here. Then tuck the rest, whatever we need, we will discuss. So please confirm all of your chart is ready up to this extent. Now, once we have done with this, people, next thing what you need to do, just go for right click on the chart area, change chart type. You'll be getting combo in the extreme bottom. In the previous case we discussed already. Now, if you look at your chart, target, what type of chart it is showing? Is it showing clustered column? Yes.
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 So no need to do any changes. If you go to actuals over here, it is showing line. Okay. So now let's have a discussion first. Ideally, when you go for your target versus actuals, or budget versus actuals, or planned versus actuals, this target, budget, or the your planned one, how do you prefer to see that? Of course, in the format of a line chart. That will be more ideal. So what we'll do first now, go to the target. If it is showing cluster column, please navigate to the drop down and choose line with markers. So this is the first change you do in the target side. Line with markers. Then the second change in the actuals, now it is showing line. So instead of line in the actual category, go for the drop down and select the very first option from the column side. In the extreme top, you'll be finding the column first one option, clustered column. So take that. And now no need to do any changes. Directly go and click OK. You will be finding a beautiful chart turns up with minimum efforts, target versus actuals. So any layman also watching my data, he can make out which are the month we have exceeding the target exactly in the month of June, August, September, and December. Pretty easily available. So this is what one format of your target versus actuals. Any doubt, any queries? Now, I'm going to take you through one discussion first. Just see. As I told you, this kind of presentations are recurring in nature. Am I right? I told you. Now, suppose say last month I have presented something like this to my audience and all were pleased with that. And this time when I'm going to present it, the same chart, only by changing the values, do you think that it is going to create that kind of impact again?
No.
Not at all, because people have already seen that. So how to make it different this time? We have no other options. We have only the values alone to be changed, but chart, I can't change it over here. But how to give a different feeling to the audience, I'll tell you. So do one thing, just select the chart and go for Control D. Take the duplicate one, keep it in the bottom for your reference. Now assume that this is what we have presented in the last month. This is what, please assume it. Now, when I go for this month, how to present it different, just say, right click on the chart area. You'll be finding an option again called change chart type. And there you go for the option in combo target is already showing line with markers, of course. Now don't do any changes in the target, go to actuals, which is showing cluster column. Instead, go for the drop down and choose also line with markers only. So target is already there with line and markers, but actuals we are going to change to line with markers. And the moment you click OK, this is also one format of your target versus actuals. So sometimes you present like this, sometimes present like this. So people have got something different every time, correct? So this is how, with minimum efforts, how to create a clean chart, which will be quite expressive over there. We have seen. Any doubt, any queries in this sheet called budget versus actuals, people? Anybody? All right. So now I'm going to take you through one more beautiful chart which has come into force only if you are there in 2016 Enterprise or Pro versions, or 2019 or Office 365, or you are in 2021. What is that chart name? It's called Waterfall. So this is what nowadays hotcake in the market, people. Some people call it as a bridge chart. Some people call it as a staircase diagram, but technically this is called waterfall. But where to use this? Waterfall diagram is being designed, and this will be a more appropriate chart type when you have some positive and negative variances in a column, or if you have got growth and degrowth, like your cash flow analysis you do, you are working with your month and month growth calculations of your sales or marketing related data. If you are working with HR, you have got the attrition related records, like where the new employees joining and the exit employees list also you need to populate all the time. So all these places, this is what the most ideal chart type you can use it. Now one more place I will tell you, when you have some sequential activity for a particular project or a product, anything, you also can present or plot it in a graphical format of waterfall. So it will be more clear when you go for a small example. Now just say, I would like to launch a product. For this, I have purchased a material of 50,000 rupees. Now, I incurred a labor cost upon that of 1 lakh. So 50 plus 1 lakh, 1 lakh 50. And when I brought the same in my plant and I have processed it, I have incurred an overhead cost of 2 lakhs rupees. So far, if somebody asks me, Prabhas, how much expenses you have incurred in that project or product, what will be my answer? 50 plus 1 lakh plus 2 lakhs, 3 lakh 50. Do you agree?
Yes, yes.
So now, at this state, when I import the raw material, my government is giving some tax benefits to me. So that is called, we call it as an import credit, or in layman terms, we call it as a cashback of 25,000. So 3 lakh 50 minus 25,000 I have received. So total 3 lakh 25,000 total expenses I have incurred on that product. This is what the whole story I have tabulated. Hope it is clear.
Yeah.
Now the same thing my boss asked me, Prabhas, why don't you plot in a graphical format? Now this data, when I'm going to plot it in a graphical format, what happens? No doubt, it is coming up. But do you see any kind of relationship between one activity to other? It is just showing us 5 different pillars or 5 different columns. But do you see any kind of relationship between one activity to other anywhere, any point of time?
Okay.
These are just the individual values populating. So this is the reason why I told you right selection of the chart is very, very essential upon the data. So now what we can do, people, we can simply right click upon the same. We'll go for change chart type, and there we have a beautiful option called waterfall. So as I told you, if you are there in the right version, then definitely you will be getting this waterfall on. And where it is 2019, 2021, Office 365, and 2016 only enterprise or pro versions only you will be getting it. Now, once I select this and click OK with immediate effect, you could see a beautiful chart turns out. Can you see the difference between the previous one and the current one? Right? Now, if you look at our chart, kindly stay focused. As I told you, since our data, if you look at the chart, our data is having some connectivity from one activity to another. Can you see? I'm just highlighting, just saying. So that's why people call it as a bridge chart. It looks like a bridge. Some people call it as a staircase diagram, but because if you see the larger picture, it looks like a staircase it is created. But technically, this is a waterfall. Okay. But this is not ready as a waterfall because if you look at our case, how many activities we have? Because people, if you have understood the whole story, in our case, how many activities we have?
4.
4. No, 4. Total cost is summation of all these above values. So technically we have 4. But in our chart, we have got 5 different activities as if it is representing, right? So this is the place where it has gone wrong. So basically the total cost I will select. My entire activity will be selected. Again, I'll select total cost for one more time. Only total cost will be selected. And there I'll go for right click. There is an option called set as total. So when I go for it, just see the transformation. Immediately, it will come to the bottom and touching the axis. So now this is ready as a waterfall. And if I want to showcase my data, right click on any column, add data labels, and that's it. Just see the beauty. If you look at our case over here, 50,000. So material expenses is 50,000. Is it touching the line of exactly 50,000? Try to understand first. Is it touching?
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
labor expenses, where it has come, it is not touching to the axis. Labor expenses come only after increase of the material expenses. Now, can you just imagine without spending for material, can you start making an expenses of labor? Is it possible?
No.
So this is what the message that after completion of the activity of material expenses, I started incurring the cost of labor. Now, when I incur the cost, 50 plus 1 lakh, is it touching the line of 1 lakh 50? Right?
Yes, yes.
After that, when I process the same in the plant, 2 lakhs, so 2 lakh plus 1 lakh 50, is it touching the line of 3 lakh 50?
Yes.
Now, when I got the input credit, so that is a cashback for me. So definitely it goes down and it is showing the reverse order. And finally, suppose as a company CEO, I want to see in that particular product how much I have expenditure made. So I can see directly to the last column, 3 lakh 25. If I want to go for in-depth analysis, I can go for each and every activity wise how much cost I have incurred. So this is how people nowadays people prefer to see this kind of charts the most. And it is not confined to just finance or accounts, production, planning, anywhere, any department you are working with, you can present your chart in this format. That's called waterfall. Make sense? Hope it is clear.
Yeah. Prabhat, one small query, Prabhat. Hello?
Yeah, tell me. I can hear you.
Yeah. See, suppose now, typically when we're making a waterfall chart, then we do actual versus budgeted profit. Okay. Yeah, whatever. So we have this, if we have, suppose here we have the total cost. Suppose we total actual cost. Suppose we have the budgeted cost also. Then like here you explained, set at total, we'll get the total cost. In that scenario, how do we use this option, this ready-made chart option?
No.
If we are comparing the budgeted cost to the actual cost.
We have to change the data plan. So now here you have got the total cost. Now you create one more column as budget also, or before that you can create a budget. Just an immediate line, you can put the value in over there in a negative value, like a bracket as I showed you. You can soak it. Like, see, the best example, the cash flow analysis. When you do it, how do you present it? With the individual line items adjacent to each other, we are showing either positive or negative. So if you want to make the budget as positive, these things you can make it negative. So this is how you have to show something, because the variance you want to make it, then you have to take the growth or degrowth trend. So
Okay.
you have to create your data pattern in that, and it will show at the
Okay, and then after that, once we create it, then we have to go to that budgeted cost and click set it total. ऐसा करना पड़ेगा?
Yes, you can.
अच्छा, okay. ठीक है, okay, fine.
See, those things will be even more clear. Like in Excel, it is a very, minimum things you can present it, but those things will be more clear when you go for Power BI. When you go for quarter-wise analysis or month-wise analysis, or last year, suppose third quarter to this year, third quarter, you want to make a comparison. There are a lot of things you can do in Power BI, but Excel, it has got very limited options.
No, earlier we used to, when this feature was not available in Waterfall, we used to use stacked column chart and make the waterfall, now this is a neater way of.
No, that is what.
This Excel has a ready-made waterfall, but earlier it was not there.
No. Earlier, what we used to do, we were making the columns white. Whatever it was touching to the axis, technically, we were making it white. So that people overcome with a new add-in called ThinkCell. So there was a Excel add-in called ThinkCell, and it was available only for some specific executives, like the top management people only they were using, because it was of license cost of 7,000 rupees. Then because of that, Microsoft has brought, because of more the people they demanded. See, Excel is such a great tool, but Waterfall is not there. Again, some third party is creating some add-ins and he is making more money. That's why Microsoft has decided to bring this to the chart versions.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine. So now we'll go for our next chart type people is called pie chart. Okay. So pie chart, daily basis we are dealing with. Then what is there that we do not know, Prabhas? You are going to teach us. The things are there. I will tell you. So just stay focused. We have got month and cells. Kindly select. Now go to our insert. You will be finding in the chart section, there is a pie. And in this pie section, if you see the very first option, we have got 2D pie. And when you have 2D pie option, if you click it, immediately your chart will be ready. But I told you, what is the first thing you should do? Going to design and take the last tile.
After insert, where do I go, Prabhas? Insert?
In the chart, 2D pie. In the insert, in the chart section, 2D pie is there.
Insert 2D pie. I get 3D maps line.
No. 3D map left, towards your 3D map left side. See recommended charts. Next to that, different icons are there.
Yes. Line, column, win loss.
Yeah.
Sparklight, link.
No. You don't need to go for that extent. See, in the recommended charts section, you can see different types of charts would be there, like column, line. Below to that, 2D pie, one circular in the first option.
Select last one. Remove noted lines.
So here, once we have got this, now what will be happening, people, over here is, I told you, going to the design, take the last tile, but this kind of legends doesn't play much role in the pie chart. So you can remove that. Simple select and delete. Now, once you have got this, to make it more informative, as we know, we can simply right click on the chart area and we can go for add data labels. But when you go for add data labels, what happens? Some data labels are inside the pie, some are outside of the pie. Ideally, in the pie chart, we should have the data labels outside of the pie area. And to make it happen, select one of the data label and go for right click upon the same. You will be having a option format data labels. And when you click this format data labels, you will be finding a dialog box appears, and there you will be finding it shows by default as label position best fit. Instead, go for outside end. And when you go for outside end over here, you will be noticing all these data labels are appearing over there outside of the pie chart, right? Fine, so I'll just go for saving because my Excel behaves a little bit weird. Right. So now, when you go for outside end, all the pie are appearing outside of the, all the data labels are appearing outside of the pie area. Now, having the selection upon the same, the moment when you go for it over here, okay, first you make it bold and a little bit increase the font size if necessary. Ideally, we know one thing that pie chart data labels are how it is in terms of numbers or percentage. Should be in percentage. So here we have a percentage option. You could see the checkbox is not activated. You can activate that. But when percentage is on, value is not playing any role. So immediate value option, you can see in the above to the percentage, you can make it off. But having mere percentage again leads to a lot of questions in the audience mind. Then to give the exact information, there is a category name checkbox is there. You need to activate it. So it will be appearing along with the month names, but it is appearing two different lines and it's not giving such a great look. To have a look and feel bit better, what you can do, there is a separator option is there, you could see, and there is a drop down also available. Go for the drop down to navigate and go for space inside. And immediately this will be appearing in one line. So these are the changes you need to make your pie chart better. All right. So kindly confirm all these changes happen and your pie chart looks exactly the way I'm showing in. Now, once we have done with these people, okay, whatever we did so far, anybody can do that. Nothing great over here or no extra Nestedifs we made it. So ideally, as I told you, when you are presenting your data, make sure your presentation is different from others so that people can make out what exactly you want to speak about this data. Well, in this case, pie chart people, I would always suggest first, identify the maximum occupancy of the pie. Which month we have got the maximum occupancy, the pie area? Feb, it is 15, May is of 16. So if you look at May is having the maximum occupancy. So whichever the pie is having the maximum occupancy, you must align that facing in left, top left diagonal section. In this manner, you should face it. Like exactly where the November month is there, your May month should appear in that place. So how to bring exactly May month pie to the November place? Just see. You can simply right click on the pie area. You have an option called format data series. And there you'll be getting an option called angle of first slice, a marker and a bar is there. So you can just slide this marker on the bar. You will be finding the pie chart will start rotating. Can you see on my screen? And you have to rotate in such a way so that exactly the May month, as I told you, it should locate in that location facing to the top left corner. Exactly. So somewhere in 125 degree, if I rotate, it will automatically facing to the top left corner. All right, everybody is able to do that.
Can you please repeat this again?
Right click on the pie,
Mhm.
format data series. You'll be getting this kind of dialog box.
Yes, yes, yes.
Then angle of first slice, one marker is there, one bar is there. So marker, you have to slide over the bar, and up to 125 degree, when you bring it, your May month will be exactly facing to the top left corner, the diagonal section.
Okay. 126. 125.
Right.
Then
Now this job is over. This job is over. Now next 1 minute, watch my screen. See, I'll keep my cursor outside and I will select the May month pie. You can notice all the pies are in selection, but I want to select only May month. So again, I have to select May month. So that May month alone is now going to be selected. Now, the moment you go to any Pizza Hut corner, or you bring the, or you order the pizza at home, when you take a slice out, how do you take it? Holding it when you take it out. Now, this is going to turn out to be a beautiful story. So what's the story? Like, in the entire year, during the month of May, we got the maximum revenue. So this is how anybody, whoever is watching my data, he can make out what I'm trying to express over here. Right? So this is how people, you can make a better story in the format of a pie chart. But pie chart nowadays has lost its charm because there are a lot of drawbacks in pie chart. What is the drawback? If you have got some negatives, you can't showcase in pie chart. If you want to compare the values, it is very difficult. So rather pie chart, people prefer to see the data in a bar chart format. Hope it is clear, people. Any doubt, any queries?
can you show this again? How did the May come out? I missed this.
You have to select May month. You have to select the May month.
Okay.
Then the entire pies are in selection. All the pies are in selection.
Yes.
Again, select May month. So only May month pie is in selection now.
Yes.
Now hold it and drag it up.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So this is how, the moment we have done with our pie chart, it will be giving a elegant view and people will love to see that. Okay. Now I'm going to take you to a beautiful chart for the information purpose. We are not going to do anything, just for information. See, nowadays, you can see, if you have any kind of client or any other counterparts in European and American countries, you will be finding this kind of benchmark chart. But technically, there is no such kind of chart in the chart family called benchmark. This is nothing but the other versions of our target versus actuals or planned versus actuals. So don't be expecting from your Excel that, okay, I don't have a benchmark chart, how these guys are they doing. They're also using the same MS Office version. So Microsoft has not designed any such kind of chart called benchmark chart. Okay. So this is just for information. Whenever you come across, don't be panicked. This is just nothing but the other versions of our target versus actuals. All right. Now, coming to the next, automatic chart. What is this meaning by automatic chart? Is it something in our Excel chart family? We have something called automatic chart. Or is it something that I will be commanding to Excel looking at the data and Excel will be plotting the graph from me? No. Automatic chart is something we will be plotting our graph only once in such a way. Whenever we upload our data, the chart will be automatically taking care about the results. So I no need to go on, keep on working with the chart area. All right. So how it's exactly we'll discuss. We have got 12 months data. Do one thing, select March to December and delete. Numbers will be varying from case to case. Don't be panic. This is because of there is a formula called rand between. So everyone will be having a different number. My numbers will not be matching with yours. Yours will not be matching with the neighbor person. Okay. Now, just 1 minute, watch my screen. No need to do anything. Just watch. I have got 2 months data. I select it. I plot a graph. No doubt, my chart is ready. Now, tomorrow, when I complete my business for the month of March, okay, just stay focused. And if I plot my data, do you see the March data anywhere? It is populated inside the chart area. Do you see anywhere?
No.
It's not coming. Then what we do, we select our chart, then we realize that our data range is not extended till March. And what we do, we take our mouse pointer and slightly we enhance the range like this. Then only March is being populated. Do you agree?
Yes.
There is nothing wrong. Whatever we are doing is absolutely perfect, all right. But the problem is, this is what a recurring action. Every month end, I have to go and slightly enhance the range by one cell down. Now, you can ask me a question, Prabhas, why don't you take an anonymous range like this? So if I take an anonymous range, what will be the situation in the chart area? A lot of empty space will be created. So if my audience is asking, can I say, sir, we are yet to complete our business year or calendar year or financial year. That's why it is showing blank. Is this the ideal way to express your data?
No.
So what we did is basically, people, today we are going to stop with that. So how to make some improvements on this? Just see. Now start working with me. Select your data and go for converting the data into table. We discussed day 2, day 3 as well. What is the shortcut? Control T, very good. So Control T, T for Tango, T for table. When you go and click OK, the data will be converted into table. Fine. Now go and plot your graph. What is the shortcut? Alt F1. Now do the changes, whatever you have learned in the quick chart sheet, do the changes. Like I told you, first change, what is that? Going to design, take the last tile. Second change, click on the plus symbol and remove the grid lines. Third change, if you want to go for adding the data labels, you can add that. If you're adding the data labels, you do not want the axis scale to be there, you can remove the same by selecting axis scale, you remove. Chart title, you can put it in the right side. So all these things, whatever we have learned, we have applied. So once it is done, kindly confirm.
Yes.
Now see the beauty. For the timing, just fill the month only. Don't fill the data revenue column, only fill the month. If I go and fill March, automatically it is populated. If I go for April, added, May, included, June, you have got it. See, automatically it is keep on adding the records, the data labels are also populating, the intervals between the columns also getting uniform. So I don't need to be worried about that. I need to focus only with my data entry action. So here the data comes automatically because there is a formula called rand between. But in the real time, you have to add your values. Don't expect that Excel will understand and it will automatically take. No, you have to enter that. But see the beauty. If you do so, tomorrow when you are presenting your quarterly information, you don't need to showcase the entire data. Just go to that particular quarter in the filter, April, May, and June, and click OK. Only the quarterly results. So unwanted data we are not showing to the people. Unwanted questions are not going to come over here. So that's how you can add more beauty over there, people, and you can make your things better. So this is how, again, one more advantage when you convert your data into table, how this is helpful for the charts also. We have got a basic understanding. All right. Hope it is clear. So this is how always you can make your chart presentation better in terms of a like our story building format, and people, when you do it in better in Excel, you hardly need to struggle in PowerPoint. So this is it. Any doubt, any queries, people, from anybody?
Like, why does the alignment in the filter is not in the same way? Jan, Feb, March. It shows in a different pattern.
No. Which alignment you're talking about?
This one is in here. April, Feb, Jan, June, March. It is not in the same way, right?
Obviously, it will not be because it is a text, no? So it will be always in A to Z order. It will never be following any calendar year or financial year. It will never be. Unless and until you have a year column or date column, you will never find such kind of options over here. So the same thing you could have asked me the other day when you go for our corporate case studies. If you go for a date related some column exclusively, when you go for a filter date column, see. So this is what I have got the date over here. If I go for it, I'm getting the date combination grouping, and there it is coming up properly with that April, May, June, July. Because it's a date, it is understanding, it's a date format. But that is where, if you look at in our chart case, it is just a text, mere text. So that's why it is taking the A to Z order.
Okay.
Yeah. Fine. Yes, people, any other doubts, queries, anything is there? Hope you enjoyed the session. It was informative. You're getting more confidence to make the things better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So only thing is now you have to keep practicing a lot. So I request everyone, just take 2 minutes of time. Okay. In the meantime, if you have any questions also, you can ask me. I'm dropping a link. If you like the training program, whatever you want to fill it. I don't have a culture of taking the feedback and all. But yes, you can just review us in Google. That will be helping other people also. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, you can ask me.
Yeah, it was a nice, I mean, just
Yes.
a feedback, maybe
Thank
another
you.
that's different.
Thank
However,
you.
I learned a lot from your end, how to make it more attractive and even customizable according to our needs.
Yeah,
Thank
more
you.
presentable also.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Sriram. Thank you, Srupa. See, Excel is something, I mean, you have got a lot of stuff to learn. I'm not denying about that. But again, how do you, as I told you, how do you present yourself? Malini, could you please keep your mic on mute for a while? So how do you present your data? There you are making a difference. So as I told you, presentation is an art. And where to get such kind of ideas? I have already shared 10 websites to you. You always navigate through that. You'll be getting a lot of ideas how to make your presentation better. Trust me. And the typical names I told you, like Big Four firms and McKinsey and Co., Bain and Company, if you go through their PPTs, especially the PowerPoint presentations, you'll be getting again a lot more ideas how to make a beautiful slides. So though we have the data in Excel, but again, the numbers are boring for the people. They don't have time to go through this. So how to present your numbers in a beautiful format so that it will be presenting in a storytelling format and with precise numbers. And sometimes if you want to present your story, how to use infographic presentations. Again, that makes a lot of difference. So like this, I mean, the more you explore, the more you can make your contents more polished, refined, and people will love to see that.
Okay.
So if you have any queries, you can ask me. In the meantime, you can just fill that review form. I mean, the link, you can go to the link and share your review. I would be very glad, much appreciated. And if you have done with that, drop me a confirmation message. And if you have any other commitments, you can leave the meeting room. No issues. I don't want to hold it for long because it's 4 hours continuously sitting at one place, that in virtual meeting room. It's very difficult. I do understand.
So maybe an additional question.
Yeah, please.
What are the different other courses that you will be executing? You are taking care of it in?
Yeah, we have got another one, another 3 programs we have along with the advanced Excel. We call it as professional PowerPoint. And the third one is Excel VBA and macro. And fourth one is Power BI.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So anytime if you are ready to, you are willing to learn, you can get in touch with Nivedita. She is the point of contact who does all this, taking care about all our admin activities, and she's the business development head also. So you can get in touch with any point of time to help.
Sure, sure.
right? And if you have any queries, people, I am just dropping an email ID to you, so you can very well ask your queries along with your sample data. You can send it across. This is under my supervision, this training.pune, and definitely you'll be getting a reply. Don't worry about it, but give me at least 1 day time, because at the end of the day only I do attend all these emails if I'm in training. So for sure you'll be getting the reply, but practice well. That is very, very essential.
Sure, Prakash.
Yep. Yep. Fine then. So any doubt or any queries from anybody? Vishwa, from your side, any doubt? Sanmugam, did you enjoy? All right then. So